Game of football. The Panthers have won 9 national titles, led by legendary names like Johnny Majors and the great Tony Dorsett. Today, Pitt closes out the month of October as they welcome the Cavaliers to a gridiron grudge at Heinz Field. So, ACC fans, sit back. It's a football Saturday trick-or-treat, for the stage is set for a Halloween bash. Virginia and Pittsburgh in a Coastal Division clash. Well, we welcome you to Halloween weekend, ACC Saturday number 9, and we're in the Steel City. And so are the Pittsburgh Panthers, who beat Duke last Saturday at Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham. And they'll meet the Virginia Cavaliers. Pitt's won 3 of the 4 meetings since they joined the ACC against the Wahoos, and Bronco Mendenhall's team is here. And your local Ford dealers presents ACC football on a soggy Saturday from the Steel City, and Narduzzi's Panthers take the field looking for their 2nd win in the ACC, and the Cavaliers are looking for their 3rd in conference play, but the elusive 6th win overall. And with James Bates, West Durham, we welcome you upstairs to the booth. You'll meet Rebecca Capel in just a moment. Well, Virginia took a bad loss last Saturday to an emerging Boston College team in Charlottesville. 41-10 was the final. And James, you look ahead now for the Cavaliers trying to get that 6th win. And this might be one of the better chances in the remaining games they have.
At 5 wins last Saturday at this time, 6 didn't seem that elusive. When you've got Boston College coming to town and then you go to Pittsburgh. This is a Pittsburgh team feeling pretty good right now, Virginia. And after a 41-10 loss to Boston College, when you thought you had that next step, well, look, after this game here this afternoon in Pittsburgh, there aren't any layups on the schedule. Georgia Tech, then at Louisville, at Miami, and you finish up with Virginia Tech in the big rivalry game. So you better get it done. And if anybody has reminded this team of what's at stake, it's seniors like Daniel Ham, like Micah Kaiser, guys that remember were there in 2014 when they went into the bye week with 4 wins at 4-2. They finished at 5-7 and did not make a bowl. They put so much work into this new Bronco Mendenhall mentality and program. They need for it to pay off. They need to go bowling. They need to start it right now.
Well, arguably the most heralded of all the Cavaliers seniors is the safety Quinn Blanding. And Rebecca, he was the guy that took the reins apparently.
Absolutely, Wes. Quinn Blanding said the team made one giant mistake last weekend, and that's that they were playing to be bowl eligible rather than just playing Boston College. After the game, Coach Bronco Mendenhall didn't even have to address his team because Blanding had already gathered everyone around. He reiterated they would be 6-1 if their focus had been on making every single play instead of coming in thinking, man, this is it. We haven't been to a bowl game before. We could be 3-0 in conference. He just kept saying, we are clouding our own judgment and we need to refocus. That's just what they did. They had a physical practice this week, and guys, they're ready to play today. Back to you.
All right, Rebecca, thanks very much. And James, the Hardy star to watch will be in Blanding's target today, and that's Darrin Hall.
Well, I'll say 224 yards on 24 carries in the big win for Pitt on the road at Duke last weekend, averaging 10.6 yards a carry in that game. And it was Darrin Hall. It was good to see all this patience pay off for him, but things have been hairy this season in the running game for Pitt. But thanks to Buchser and that offensive line, guys like O'Neal, Officer, Morrissey, Jones Smith, they're starting to get some nastiness to them, and we're going to find out here as Pitt will take the opening kickoff, and you better believe, especially with it raining a little bit, they're going to see what Virginia's got when they go down to the ground and try to pound it a little bit.
Alex Buchser went right to the top of the James Bates hair contest, didn't he?
Oh, it's a beautiful mullet. And in the post-game press conference, he was petting it after that Duke win.
There'll be no return for Henderson, and we're underway from Heinz Field. Very overcast and soggy Saturday, and the rain has just started to pick up, and we get a look at Ben DiNucci, young man from nearby Wexford, PA, James.
Young man, just a sophomore, but a confident young guy. And a guy that comes walking into our meeting yesterday, and you think, hey, this is a senior. This is a guy that started a lot of games. That's not the case. This will be just his 4th start here at Pitt. He's got some athleticism. He can tuck it and he can run, but he's still kind of in that high school mindset where it always worked. They want him to be a little bit more patient before he does tuck that football and run. and wait for some of those guys to get open for him.
And on first down, this is Hall trying to find something around the edge. And Virginia will hold him to just a couple of yards. So it'll be 2nd down and 8. The one thing that we look at in talking to the offensive coordinator, Sean Watson, is his respect of DiNucci's ability to compete. James called him a fiery competitor, and he also brings something to the read option that we noticed in watching the Duke game last week that maybe Max Brown, the guy who got hurt in the Syracuse game, who came over for a grad year out of Southern Cal, did not bring to him.
Absolutely. You've got to prepare. You've got to fear the legs of a guy like DiNucci running the football on him.
Here goes Hall again. And it'll be 3rd down and 5. Andrew Brown, the veteran defensive end, senior from Chesapeake, to stop. Rebecca.
Hey, Wes, you mentioned the weather conditions. Yes, it is raining. It's been just a light rain on and off, but right now it's coming down. The field conditions, I'm told, really good. This field is able to withstand the weather and absorb the rain. I talked to the maintenance crews earlier. That said, this is a football game, and weather will play a factor when that football is slippery.
Well, it's also the home of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are in Detroit this weekend. So they don't have the double dip, if you will, on Saturday and Sunday, James.
Showing blitz, and one thing they really struggled with, 3rd and mediums against Boston College last week.
And DiNucci misses the throw there, trying to go to Maurice French. So it'll be 3 and out for Pittsburgh on their opening drive. And a disappointing start for an offense that seemed to find some rhythm last week in Durham.
Well, it certainly did. On the ground, a couple short gains, and here's a ball that needs to be catched. Wet conditions or not, it's something that you come to expect as a football player, playing in a little bit of nasty weather, especially here at season's end as we go down the back half. So a good 3 and out for a Virginia defense that, believe it or not, didn't have very many of those last weekend against Boston College.
Ryan Winslow is 3rd in the ACC, top 20 nationally at 44.5 yards, and Daniel Ham set to return. And there'll be one off the 33, and Ham wrapped up after about a 3.5 yard return. So a minute and a half gone. We'll get a look at the Cavaliers offense here for the first time, and time for James Bates' Halloween edition of the Forward Keys to the Game.
Yeah, can I have some spooky sound effects, please? Virginia, I went with a couple Stephen King novels and movies. It for Virginia. Get it back, because you had it with your 5 wins last weekend. Looking at number 6 going into the Boston College game.
Carey?
And for Pittsburgh, well, Carey with a Y, though. Carry that football. Get that ground game going. They're all going to laugh at you.
Snap is high. Here's Ham on the little read option around the edge, and a called run for Daniel Ham, the senior from Winfield, and Jordan Whitehead makes the stop after a gain of 11 on first down.
Jordan Whitehead has that right forearm wrapped up, and defensively now for Pitt, Avonte Maddox is out. The edges will be tested with any team, any defense when you're playing Virginia, especially today.
Benkert throwing for the first time, and it's incomplete. It bounced on the way to Olamide Zaccheaus. So Kurt Benkert, who struggled last Saturday in the loss to Boston College, comes in 5th in completion percentage, 3rd in touchdown passes this year, James.
Well, it wasn't the same Virginia defense we talked about on 3rd downs, especially against Boston College last weekend, and it wasn't really the same Kurt Benkert, who had really grown from that junior year where he was kind of herky-jerky, and he was really starting to kind of get in his rhythm. He was thrown off of it a little bit last weekend.
5 wide, Benkert going to keep it. Big hole, first down, sliding into Pittsburgh territory. Just inside the Panthers' 43-yard line, and a nice start, 11-yard run, and there is Avonte Maddox, the senior from Detroit, who is out today.
Yeah, you hate that for this football team. Such an emotional leader. Look at him over there. He's jawing right now with his guys on the sidelines. You need him for his emotions, but also his playmaking ability. Really a big-time playmaker. He makes things happen on offense as well.
Second first down for Virginia on the drive, and Olamide Zaccheaus. A little counter. Down to about the 38-yard line, a gain of 5 on first down for Zaccheaus, who carries it for the 17th time this year. Valuable piece of Robert Anae's offense, James.
Well, Zaccheaus is kind of, it used to be smoke all the time. I mean, it was smoke for even before Bronco Mendenhall, Robert Anae got there. And Zaccheaus has kind of filled in a lot of those jet sweeps, a lot of those just get it to him right now, and it's a nice 1-2, a little bit more of a balance when you talk about personnel and bodies.
Play fake to Ellis on second down. Benkert's going to take the shot. Lavroni is overthrown. He had gotten around Dane Jackson, the corner, in coverage. And now third down for the Cavaliers.
Well, let's remember this right here. Overthrown, but you give him the inside. You can't fall for that okey doke, the outside little shake there. That inside, they will come back and they will test that one more time. If it's going to look that easy, they'll come back and see if Benkert can hit it. So here's now a third down and medium for Virginia.
Pitt is last on third down in the ACC, allowing opponents to convert 41%. Virginia's fourth converting third down. Benkert had it batted away and intercepted. Salim Brightwell the pick. First interception of the year for Brightwell. 8th of the year by the Panther defense and a 16-yard return.
I got my notes on Brightwell, the young sophomore middle linebacker. Instinctive is number one. He really has a good feel for the game. Where did he set up, Wes, in this little underneath zone? He set up at the sticks. Where are they trying to go? Watch those quarterback's eyes. Watch the quarterback's eyes. Benkert, he's going to set up, boom, right at the sticks. Tip it to himself, and a big turnover for Pitt here early after they come a 3-and-out. Now let's see with outstanding field position if they can get something going here.
So the interception by Brightwell, and now DiNucci and the Panthers up near the midfield stripe. Play for the Hall. Crossing and throws. That's Olison the catch. Out of bounds near the Cavalier 35. So first down completion to Olison, Rebecca.
Hey, DC Josh Conklin said Salim Brightwell is an instinctive football player, and that is a gift beyond being physical and strong and in the right spots. He says he has all the tangibles, instincts, fits the prototype mold for a linebacker, and he is nasty and tough.
Well, and he got his second career interception there, first of the season. Play fake to Whitehead by DiNucci, and he's in trouble. He'll lose maybe 5. Almost 8 yards. He goes out of bounds back at the 43. He faked the handoff to Whitehead, who was in for the offensive snap. Bryce Hall stayed home.
Everybody stayed home.
Wow.
It looked like. I mean, there's not one guy that's fooled. And Whitehead coming over from defense, who's done some damage. Last time we had the Pitt Panthers, he had a nice jet sweep handoff and turned the corner and scored a big touchdown. In the loss at Syracuse, nobody was buying it. Howell's got to be careful, though. A little shove after he stepped on the paint. No flag, though, but a second and long here.
2 tight ends to the left. They move Hall out of the backfield. DiNucci to throw against a 3-man rush, and boy, drilled it in there. And that's Henderson making the catch. Just his 12th grab of the year for Quadree Henderson, the return specialist, a 7-yard throw. And it's third down and 11, James.
You're right, Wes. He did drill it in there. And had he not drilled it in there, it might have been a Micah Kaiser interception. A couple linebackers getting some picks early, but instead roped it in, and they cut it in just about half, but it's still third down and 11. Now those sticks are at the 25. So Virginia know where they're running those routes, know where they're trying to break them off at.
DiNucci again from the pocket. Nice throw in the catch, and this is Arujo Lopes, the redshirt junior from Florida, who had some big, crucial catches and conversions last week against Duke. Helps his quarterback there.
Yes, he does. And the sophomore quarterback, here's patience. Good job up front. The guy's protecting him, giving him time, and giving him the confidence that he can stand in there, that he doesn't have to tuck it and go, and letting guys run through that zone. Arujo Lopes finds the empty spot in the zone, slows it down a little bit, and that's just what they needed. Nice pickup.
Whitehead has come back in the ball game, James. He's in that slot to the left here on 1st and 10.
There he is.
And they'll hand the ball, and this is Darrin Hall. And he'll get about 3 yards before Brenton Nelson knocks him down. As Pittsburgh moves into the CPI security red zone behind the Wexford, PA native Ben DiNucci, and you see number 1 in efficiency. 10 touchdowns, 19 trips for the Panthers.
You know, what do you think that's like? Grew up his entire life a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Season tickets.
Yesterday he told us where the tickets were.
Yeah.
Here's Hall straight ahead. Darrin Hall, a touchdown. touchdown. 14-yard run for Hall. His 5th score of the year, his 4th, James, in about the last 4 quarters and change.
And boom, this is exactly how it happened against Duke. Guys just blowing defensive linemen off the ball, and it's that right side they go to once again. It was the left side early in the season that they relied on heavily, but they're starting to balance it out, and they go right behind Buchser, the junior, from right here in Pittsburgh.
Here's the point after by Kessman. 6 plays, 51 yards, 3:05. The interception by Salim Brightwell turned in for a score, and the Panthers in front early.
Celebrate World Sandwich Day at Subway, Friday, November 3rd. Buy any sub and 30-ounce drink, and we'll give you another sub free. Plus, we'll donate a meal to Feeding America. It's all part of our live feed event as Subway restaurants around the world join the fight to end hunger in their communities. So stop in, buy any sub and 30-ounce drink, get 1 sub free, and do some good with Feeding America. Friday, November 3rd at Subway.
Brought to you by Honda Generators. Oh, look at number 33 carving up the Irish. 1976, the national championship season for John Majors out of Huntland, Tennessee. Tony Dorsett won the Heisman Trophy, the Walter Camp All-America, and you know what you get when you do all that, don't you, James? You get one of those things right there.
Nice banner here at Heinz. Probably get a bunch of free ketchup, too, I'd like to think. Man, I was a young pup and growing up in Texas when he was doing his thing for the Cowboys. And you talk about everybody wanted to be TD.
Here is Joe Reed on the kick return. He is dangerous. Reed to the 40. Up the far side and into Pittsburgh territory. Keeps his balance and finally collared at the 28-yard line. 69-yard return will be the best of the year for Joe Reed, who's 4th in the ACC and 23rd nationally at almost 25 a shot.
Bronco Mendenhall told us last week before that Boston College game, I'm still not happy where our special teams are. Look at the white hats. Everybody hat on hat, still picking up blockers, and then redoing the rest. Never stops those legs. Churning forwards, going to make the kicker miss and keep on going. An outstanding answer for a team that really needed it because they were knocked out in that Boston College loss last weekend and never seemed to recover. But outstanding field position here to start and try to answer for Benkert in this offense.
Out of Charlotte Courthouse, Virginia, Joe Reed gives Benkert great field position, and that got deflected on the throw.
Wes, let's go back to that touchdown here. You know, one thing, watching the Boston College Florida State game last night, you're going to watch Officer, the left guard, watch Morrissey, the center. Go ahead and play it up on Mack. Here goes Officer, boom, up to the next level on Mack. Buchser does his job at the right guard. And what you see from that Virginia front 7 is guys catching. Yep. And that's what you saw last night, Florida State, catching. Who's firing off? Who wants it more? It's going to be 4 quarters of smash mouth, and it's going to be 4 quarters of who wants it more there in the trenches.
Jordan Ellis fights inside toward the 25. It'll be a gain of 3. 3rd down and 7 upcoming. Benkert 0 for 4 with the interception to Brightwell in the first possession.
So much of football, it seems, has moved away, and you see so much of it finesse, open field tackling, scheme. But at the end of the day, that's what this game right here especially is going to be about. Who wants it more? Who's more physical is going to take the punch to him in the trenches. Here's a 3rd and medium.
Ellis won't get there. Swarmed under by Elijah Zeiss, the money backer.
You know, Bronco Mendenhall not scared at all to go for it on 4th down. You got to think that he was thinking there, let's go get about 3 or 4 and get up to a 4th and very short situation, if nothing else. Instead, the punch is delivered and standing up. Those front guys on the front for Pittsburgh, and an outstanding job coming around the edge there to make sure the deal is sealed by Zeiss.
43-yard try for Mejia. The freshman from Fairfax, Virginia, who on the year is 5 for 6. Longest is 38. Here's the kick. And it is no good. So the miss from 43. The 69-yard kickoff return by Joe Reed goes by the boards. Still 7-0 Pittsburgh.
USAA to me means peace of mind. We had a power outage for 5 days total. We lost a lot of food. We actually filed a claim to USAA to replace that spoiled food. We really appreciated that. We're the Weber family, and we're USAA members for life.
When you look at the Mercedes-Benz GLC, with its high-tech cameras and radar, contemporary cockpit, 360-degree network of driver assist technologies, and sporty performance, what's most impressive about the GLC? All depends on your point of view. The 2018 GLC, starting at $40,050. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Strikes first on offense, and then after a 69-yard kickoff return by Virginia, knocking at the door, out jumps this Pittsburgh defense in a 3-and-out and a huge one to get off the field. Momentum. How many times do you hear during a football season it's a game of momentum? Well, it is. And you know what? The momentum belongs to the guys from Pittsburgh right now, and it certainly shouldn't after that 69-yard kick return.
Here's DiNucci trying to air it out, looking for Matthews, and deflected away. That's Aaron Matthews, the 6'4 sophomore. Clareton, PA, defended by Bryce Hall.
Well, and here's that last drive. DiNucci started this game with an incomplete pass, and it was 3 straight completions, and back to the ground, and back to Hall, and back to his old ways. Last weekend, I don't think he was touched on any of those touchdown runs, and barely got a paw on him there.
So after hitting 3 straight, he misses on the throw to Matthews. Now 2nd down and 10. So here's the give, and this is French trying to work to the corner, and boy, Virginia spelled that pretty quick. Takes him down for a yard loss. Quinn Blanding, the free safety, rallied to the football.
And a good job. I'm not sure if I can get a number here on this cornerback. Boom. There, 17 for Virginia. Even though he's not going to be credited with the tackle, it's good to see Malcolm Cook back out there. And he does a good job of fighting to just stay outside that block, knowing where all your help is. And it's pretty good help coming from guys like Quinn Blanding. Nice stop there, forcing a 3rd and long.
3rd and a long 11 here, James. And DiNucci bails from Andrew Brown. Still in hot pursuit, and now going to fire it up the far sideline, and almost picked on that deflection by Joey Blunt, who's in there helping for the absence of Juan Thornhill, who's not in uniform today for Virginia.
Well, and his near interception just overthrown, and I'm not sure if I guess he was trying to throw it out, and that's just what happened to Virginia last week against Boston College. Benkert was definitely just trying to throw it out and make sure it wasn't grounding, and it was picked off by the Eagles. Lucky to get away with that one and punt it away.
Winslow's first punt was 36 today, and his second flips over toward Ham. Off the 37 goes the senior. And they'll pull him down around midfield, so a 13-yard return of the punt by Daniel Ham. 36-yard punt again. Timeout on the field where the Three Rivers meet. The Panthers lead by 7.
At Desmond Howard, your famous trophy pose is my screensaver.
Post something nice about your rival with hashtag Sweet Talk, hashtag Sweepstakes for a chance to win a trip to the College Football National Championship.
Jim has had a rough life. His 3rd wife ran off with his 2nd wife. His daughter's first words were, "This isn't working, Jim." Tornadoes chase him. During a near-death experience, someone else's life flashed before his eyes. But Jim feels like a champion because he's eating tasty, protein-powered, wonderful pistachios. And when you feel better about your snacks, you feel better about yourself.
7-0 Pittsburgh. Don't forget another edition of ACC All Access coming up this week. We'll take you back to the ACC Cross Country Championships from this weekend in Louisville. Plus, James Bates sits down with the Hokies' Cam Phillips.
Who, me?
Yes, sir. Check your local listings on your regional sports network. Back-to-back plus field territory starts for Virginia, this time from the Pittsburgh 49. And Benkert's got Jordan Ellis with him. And Ellis will get the call. And he'll pick up almost 4. Let's call it 3 for sure on first down. Salim Brightwell, the tackle. And Bronco Mendenhall's got to be a little concerned here, James. Had a plus field territory start last possession and have another one here and still scoreless.
Well, he gets a few there on first down, winning that first down. And look at this down at the bottom of the total yards. A lot of them have come through that return game. The 69-yard return by Reed, and now they'll go empty.
Well, second time we've seen them go 5 wide. Benkert keeps it again on the 5 wide look and will pick up the first down. Toward the 37-yard line goes the veteran Kurt Benkert. 9-yard run. James, they've been 5 wide twice, and Benkert's kept it both times.
Well, and hey, until they stop it, keep coming back to it. That's one thing that we know about Robert and I. We learned that in the North Carolina game. The Tar Heels, unfortunately, learned that in the fourth quarter. If it's working and you can't stop it, we're going to keep running it until you do. And whether it's on the ground or through the air, it's important to get Benkert into a rhythm, get him feeling good.
Little counter, and here's Joe Reed exploding for 9 on first down, maybe 10. Before he got tripped up.
We saw him on the run and keep feeding him. I mean, pay him back. You've got a few backs that you use here in this offense. And Reed right now seems to have a little spring to his step, some juice. So keep feeding him as well. You know, you talk to a lot of these coordinators as feeding the hot hand, feeding the hot hand. Right now for Pittsburgh, Darrin Hall's the hot hand. Reed seems to be the hot hand for Virginia in this offense here early today anyway.
That's Dubois in motion from the top, and here's Benkert flipping it to Ellis again on second and short. And Jordan Ellis will be brought down before he can reach the first down stick. Elijah Zeiss, the linebacker, made the stop there. With the absence of Maddox, James, Felipe Motley's forced into a starting role today. It also puts a little more pressure on Josh Conklin's back 7, if you will.
Yes, and a good job there by Zeiss, because Salim Brightwell came from his linebacker spot and overran. Third down and short. Had so much success in these situations the last few weeks.
This is Ellis. He got hit straight ahead and turned back. Well, James, they've been watching the same tape you've seen.
Absolutely. I mean, and it has been. That's been the shocker. Great job, low pad level, and firing off by the guys up front in those blue unis. That second wave's going to be there to clean them up. Look at them stand those bodies up on the offensive line. Here comes the 4th and short. You better be ready for that same thing. It's Ellis, the lone back behind Benkert now.
6th play of the drive. They'll hand it to Ellis again, and Pitt right there. Rashad Weaver, the redshirt freshman at defensive end. And then Big Amir Watts, a sophomore from Chicago. Woo. 6 plays, and Virginia gives it back on downs. Wow.
Again, look at the blue hats. I mean, they're through there in a hurry. There's the penetration. Weaver holds them up just enough time for his buddies to come and clean it up and finish it off. A great job, great penetration. And again, the guys up front, the down linemen there for Pittsburgh. Guys like Roy and Hendricks and Camp and Weaver just winning that battle in the trenches on the defensive side.
DiNucci off the Panther 28. Darrin Hall the carry. Maybe 2, maybe a yard. We'll see where they spot it. James, you mentioned that 2-level play defensively, and in talking to Josh Conklin yesterday, he went on and on about young guys developing, Rashad Weaver in particular, and then it was Sean Idowu, who's their leading tackler, who finally polished off Ellis there.
Well, and it was guys like Idowu and the defensive front 7. That has been a big-time point the last few weeks. Hey, trust it. Read and react and use your athletic ability and trust. Don't think. What was it? If you think, you stink. They're not thinking. They're just playing ball right now and looking good at it.
Quadree Henderson on the carry. Out to the 35.
Hey, they went and found this in the truck for me. You think Avonte Maddox isn't a team player? He's got that arm in a sling. Yeah. Watch this.
Come on.
He gives him a big chest bump with the other side.
Oh, man. Oh, he and Amir Watts there, huh? Well, Jordan Whitehead indicated to us yesterday that Maddox would not only be on the sideline, but he'd be an active participant on the sideline, and he certainly lived up to that so far.
Might need the ice at halftime.
3rd down. DiNucci loops it down the field, and back shoulder catch, Maurice French. And really good coverage from Devontae Crosses from Allentown, PA, playing back in his home state.
Protecting their guy. Nobody near him, so he can stand in there calmly. And he just launches it like he's in warm-up and pre-game. And French, who had a couple steps, has to come back for it a little bit. At which point, defensively, you've got to snap that head around, or you've got to just rip those wrists away. I think he was so worried because he was beaten. Good job by French with the hands in his face to focus on that football and to pull it in.
You see Olison on the first down carry. Jordan Mack made the play on Quadree Henderson, 230-pound redshirt junior from Niagara Falls, and now a little tempo to the Panther attack.
Well, it was supposed to be. People talk about a nice offense, a lot of window dressing. That's like Christmas Day dressing.
There's Olison, and he'll be just short, so it'll be 3rd and a couple for Pittsburgh.
Now, you say, hey, all that for that. You know, all the big shift. How many graduate assistants up in the booth? What are they going to do when we do this? You know, maybe that's setting up for something. When at halftime, when we did this shift, they didn't cover it.
Right.
So now we know. Or maybe they did cover it.
3rd and a couple. Halls come back in. In motion, Henderson. They'll hand it to Darrin Hall, and he'll have the first down if he broke the plane of the 23-yard line, which he did. It'll be a first down for Pittsburgh. They're on the approach to the Virginia red zone for the second time today in 4 possessions.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Quarter in the books here at Heinz Field. Interception by Salim Brightwell. Set up a Darrin Hall 14-yard TD run. Only score in the game so far.
Everyone knows BMWs are fast, but you probably didn't know they help keep you in your lane and avoid collisions. Fast. Because the speed that matters most is the speed of safety.
BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Financial planning works a lot like GPS. It's a roadmap for your money, helping you balance the life you want now and later. It can help you reach your goals, like the retirement of your dreams or a family vacation. Working with a Northwestern Mutual financial advisor means that you get a financial plan tailored to your life, helping you prioritize and reach your goals one by one. Life has many twists and turns. Planning with Northwestern Mutual can help you stay on track and make the most of your money today and tomorrow.
A Red Lobster game summary after 15 minutes of play at Heinz Field, and you see Pittsburgh, 106 yards of offense, 73 from the arm of Ben DiNucci, just 50 yards of rushing for Virginia. And the Cavaliers have let 2 plus field starts, James, go by the boards.
0 passing yards and the 1 interception that Ben Curtis thrown to Salim Brightwell.
Here is DiNucci on first down, and Olison back to work. He and Darrin Hall have had the carry so far. Pretty good run on first down. Micah Kaiser, Quinn Blanding, the 2 most productive defensive players for Bronco Mendenhall's club to stop.
Well, the 2 leaders, Blanding and Kaiser. You know, 2 guys that you'd look to provide a spark. We've seen a young sophomore for Pitt get a nice turnover, the interception, to get the ball back in his offense's hands. Can one of them rip it away? Can one of them come up with a pick and light the fire under this Virginia team? You know, they've been struggling to get back.
Here's DiNucci looking for the throwback. Resets and is going to throw it away. It was Mike Flanagan, the grad transfer from Rutgers, who was the guy leaking out on the backside of the play, but he was defended by Malcolm Cook, who you see is back in the Cavalier lineup today.
Hey, smart play call by Pittsburgh. Why? Because Malcolm Cook has been out with an ankle injury. Hey, let's test him. We've got him matched up man-to-man, and even smarter by Malcolm Cook. That a way to be heads up, because a lot of times, guys, you let your guard down a little bit. You know, you haven't been in the flow. You're trying to go run and make a play, run across the field.
Yep.
Excellent job, 17.
3rd down. DiNucci cuts it loose, and the catch is made, and Jester Weah stretches and scores. Jester Weah.
Well, that inside, I mean, that's just too easy for DiNucci. A little slant, they give him the inside. The little cut, we saw it earlier, further down the field on the post. This time the quick slant, DiNucci throws it up there to him, and Weah does the rest. The receiver from Madison, Wisconsin, jumping around in the end zone now.
Yeah. And Kessman's point after is good. So a minute into quarter number 2, Pittsburgh now leads 14-0. On the DiNucci to Jester Weah play. And our Jester Weah touchdown is part of our Jimmy John's freaky fast play, James.
And DiNucci getting more and more confident. Why? Because they have had success on the ground. If they don't fear that you can run the football on them, they're just going to tee off on the quarterback. Instead, there's a nice balance to it. There's on the ground one, and then one through the air, Jester Weah, who Mama didn't want him playing any football when he was younger. Rebecca, it's almost like Bobby Boucher's mom. She wasn't going to let Bobby do any of that tackling fuel, right?
Oh, my goodness. So a 2-touchdown lead, and Kessman will kick it away to Joe Reed. By the way, DiNucci, 5 of 9, 92 yards, 5 completions to 5 different Panthers. And Virginia will scrimmage off its 25. Well, around the ACC on a Saturday, week number 9 in Winston-Salem we go. Gritty, gutty, John Walford put the Deacs up 7-0. And then later in this opening quarter, Greg Dortch, the explosive wide receiver, makes it 14-3. Lamar Jackson threw a pick in the end zone to Isang Bassi. Wake Forest has taken the ensuing possession and gone down the field.
Wow.
And Walford has thrown 4 yards to Greg Dortch. 20-3, point pending at BB&T Field, James. And here is the catch by the tight end, Evan Butts, and a Virginia first down out to the 37. The lights are on, and the clouds have darkened considerably since we started here today at Heinz Field.
Well, there's a bright spot, one that has been a bright spot in this offense here this week, or this season rather, for Robert Anaya as the tight end, and Butts, a big catch there. Nice easy grab, may seem pretty simple, just sitting at home watching, but a big one to move the chains, get Benkert rolling a little bit, and see if you can get something going. Down 14-0 already on the road to Pitt.
First passing yards of the day, and Jordan Ellis on the first down snap. And Folston makes the play from the defensive end spot. And here's our North Myrtle Beach weather today in Pittsburgh. 52 degrees, and rain is not only forecast, it's here.
It is here, and it's unfortunate because that shot yesterday, you couldn't have found a prettier picture in the United States here in Pittsburgh. I mean, the weather was just perfect, and when the leaves are turning here in Pittsburgh and the weather's right, oh, it's a thing of beauty. I love the bridges, all the different colors, and a lot of good juice downtown Pittsburgh.
2nd and 8, a little counter out of the gun, and a flag down as Ellis breaks the 40. First penalty of the day, and Dwayne Haight is our white hat, as assigned by the Atlantic Coast Conference, and Dennis Hennigan is the supervisor of football officials.
Personal foul, face mask, offense, number 74, 15-yard penalty, 2nd down.
The grad transfer Montelis from Notre Dame, guilty. Well, we told you about Wake Forest a moment ago, James, and just checking the Week 9 scoreboard here, Carolina leads Miami 6-0 at Chapel Hill. Pair of field goals for the Tar Heels.
And how about North Carolina? And now they lose Michael Carter
today, right? Does not play today.
Not playing today.
Yep.
They've already lost just an unimaginable number for the season. And now they lose their top rusher. So hanging in there, good to see at least.
Benkert steps up. Here's Andre Lavroni's first catch of the day. That'll be a Virginia first down out to the 40-yard line. Senior from Laurel, Maryland. Dane Jackson, the tackle in the Pittsburgh secondary. 16-yard throw here, Batesy.
Well, and a nice job. Get what you can. Tuck it and get upfield. Get what you can. Get me a few more. Don't dance and go a yard backwards. 14. He's been fun to watch the last couple of weeks. The guy who's really come on here in his senior season. Now what are you going to do? You have the big
face mask penalty, trying to get something going. You're starting to kind of sputter. You go backwards. Big down here for Virginia. Can they convert? Can they stay on the field and keep it rolling?
Third down, Pittsburgh bringing 4 in the pressure. Benkert got to hurry, and it's caught crossing the field, but shy of the first down is Joe Reed. Out near the 44-yard line, Virginia will have to punt.
With the interceptions last week against Boston College, Benkert certainly not gun shy. He's going backwards and throws it into traffic in what's not going to be a fiery football. You get some yards, but not enough.
And now whistle.
Officials timeout. Snapping the ball before we mark the ball ready for play and allow the defense to substitute.
And
nice piece of maintenance in the ball game by referee Haight. Pat Narduzzi, 51 years of age, from Youngstown, Ohio. Always an enjoyable visit, James.
Oh, absolutely. His whole crew, his players as well. And here's Lester Coleman. You talk about a good weekend. A lot of practice, unfortunately, last week against Boston College.
Boy, dumped it inside the 15, and it's touched by the Cavaliers around the 14 of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Well, Halloween weekend's underway. We've even got our network pumpkin out for show today.
Like it.
I love sports. I just wish they could be with me always. They say you don't choose the app. The app chooses you. It is everything I could ever want in a sports companion. It can stream the games and shows that I love, and it's there whenever I need it.
That's okay.
I never thought I could find an app that loves sports as much as I do. Until now.
ACC football is brought to you by CPI Security, your local Ford dealer, and by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina. The plans you want, you've got it. Place for James Bates to visit, I don't believe, than the steel mills.
Why, because I'm so hot?
Well, you could go down there to see the smelting process. Steel rails were made here, 1875.
So I smelt.
The industrialist, Andrew Carnegie, Andrew Mellon, Charles Schwab, Henry Clay Frick. Come on, we could have done a lot of things.
Keep going. Andy Warhol and the steel guy.
Here's Darrin Hall. He's closing into an industrialist, isn't he?
Yeah.
Out to the 25. A run of right at about 11 yards and a first down for Darrin Hall before landing the tackle.
Well, we just talked about sitting down with Narduzzi, his coaches and his players, and what a treat it was to sit with some of these young men. And number 22, one of them, from Youngstown, Ohio, and he told us, he just had to be patient. He said, when I first got here, it came across as almost a confidence thing. I didn't take advantage of a couple opportunities I had, but I see him now, and I'm taking it. And he certainly stepped up in a big way, got better every single time he touched the football last weekend.
Play fake, DiNucci. Deep ball for Jester Weah. Broken up on the play. There's a flag down. That was Bryce Hall in coverage. The flag is back where DiNucci cut it loose.
Yeah, it's going to be a late hit on DiNucci. I don't think they went to the hat, so I'm not so sure. I don't think there'll be an ejection.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer with targeting. Defense, number 37. 15-yard penalty. The previous play is under review.
Jordan Mack.
Yeah, I don't think they'll lose Mack. Mack, you see how he goes away from the helmet. He tries to avoid. So I think after review, they'll come back and Mack will remain in the game. The 15 yards will stay on. Now, let's not forget at the end of that play, Bryce Hall, that's fantastic. That's the way to come with the backside arm. You secure the tackle, but front side, you rip through and knock that ball away.
Yep.
A good job, and you still get the 15 yards in the first down, but you won't lose your linebacker, Mack. Certainly don't think you will.
Okay, this is the closed-in zone look here. And there, it doesn't look like he hits the helmet.
It looks like he hits his elbow.
Well, that and as you mentioned, the shoulder. Now, slow that one down. There, it looks like he hits the face mask.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's such a big hit. Give us that other angle if we could. And I know the truck and the replay officials are communicating here, but no, that's I don't think that he hits the face mask there.
Here it is.
Here.
Watch this. See, I think he clips the face mask.
Well, see, here's my problem with it all. And hey, I think that this is really made. I've been fascinated to watch these kids as we come up now a few years into protecting and targeting calls. They really are starting to tackle differently. But he goes to the side to avoid.
After review, there is no targeting on the play. Player number 37 may remain in the game. However, the personal foul roughing the passer will be enforced. First down.
I want you to finish your point here a little bit, James, because I think you're right. It's made a tremendous difference. Yes. Number one, in its objective, which was to clean up the head hits.
Wes, I didn't think it was possible. I didn't.
I remember us sitting in that room a few years ago.
It just, the thought of it, because, from, growing up in a football house, in a dad that's a defensive coordinator. Oh, you got to lead with your head, using your forehead. And, I'm paying for it at times now, I feel. But, that's all I was ever taught. Whether you're taking on blocks but to watch them now, they're teaching them at a young age. They're doing a good job.
DiNucci bails out on a Rougeau Lopes attempt. And he had to do that because Chris Peace came free off the weak side in Virginia's 34 set. Now remember, for the targeting to be enforced has to be
the true.
It has to be. You got to be able to see it.
Helmet. Yeah. Now he did lower his head, but the way I see it, through the lens of a defensive guy, I saw it as him trying to avoid the helmet.
Yep.
And he's got to pull up. You got to be smarter and pull up and not cost your team 15 yards. But fortunately, he's still in the game for Virginia.
Second down. They're going to try inside here, and this is Henderson, where he can be very dangerous, and he'll pick up about 7. Let's give it one more look and slow it down if we can when he gets around the face mask here. Now, this is from the end zone, James, but you're right, the shoulder's the impact.
Well, and it's miscommunication to begin with, and they're lucky that it isn't just a sack because Hall goes the wrong way and delayed a little bit. And on that hit, it's, and he leaves his feet, he launches. And so if he just grazed the face mask, if he just grazes the helmet, they would have tossed him. So a third down now and 3. See if this Virginia defense can come up with a big stop.
Third down, DiNucci going to throw here, taking the shot, looking for French. And Bryce Hall will be flagged for pass interference. Boy, Maurice French has been teed up here a couple times today. Made one great catch and might have had one there if not for the play by Hall. And it will cost Virginia.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 34. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Bryce Hall, I just bragged on you. Did a fantastic job. Trust it. Trust it. He's watching the ball. He's watching the ball early and then snaps his head back around. He's in outstanding position. And he's got to trust. Bronco Mendenhall was a defensive back. Bronco Mendenhall is a defensive-minded coach. He's a technician. It's not the way you're taught in practice.
Yeah.
You're stride for stride. You got to rip that head back around inside as opposed to the other way, running right into the receiver. So helping him out with the penalties right now.
All 3 penalties against Virginia, 15 yards, and Darrin Hall rambling again. That's another Pittsburgh first down. We're working toward 9 minutes to go in this first half on an 11-yard run by Hall.
Well,
who's now got 50 yards on 8 carries.
You see his face when he popped up. He thought he had it. It was a nice cut. Nice vision by Hall. And you can only imagine a guy who hasn't had a ton of reps in the game, a ton of full speed action. He's starting to feel it more and more every time he carries the ball. Vision with athletic ability combined here.
Trying to pick a seam there on the left side as Pittsburgh went to a pistol, James. First time I think we've seen that out of the offensive coordinator, Sean Watson. So plenty of formations being thrown at the Cavalier front here today. And I thought that was one of the things that Hall and DiNucci talked to us about, was DiNucci in particular, about all the ways Virginia lines up defensively and what you have to sort out in Bronco Mendenhall's playbook. Second down. DiNucci hands to Hall, and Andrew Brown makes a great play for the Cavaliers. He won right away over the right tackle, Jared Jones-Smith. And Andrew Brown can be a problem.
Yeah, I don't think there's any contest at all. Here he is at the bottom, just comes underneath, and somebody's got to pick him up. Nobody even tried to block him. He's talking across the ball at that offensive line for Pitt. And let's see if they can back it up with a play here, though. It's 3rd down and 8.
Tight end, 3 receivers. DiNucci going to throw for the end zone, and Weah, the intended receiver, and defended by the boundary corner, and that's Bryce Hall again.
DiNucci's a tough guy, but he's starting to take some hits. The sophomore is going to take another one here. They showed blitz, backed out of it, and again they go after Hall, who's fighting the whole way through.
Boy, there's a lot of contact in the secondary both ways today, James. It's a very physical ball game out in the secondary, which you don't normally see. Here's Kessman. And the 43-yard try is no good. So a missed field goal by either school. But the wind is picking up at Heinz Field. Pittsburgh's got a pair of touchdowns, and that's the difference midway through quarter 2.
The Audi 2017 MLS Cup playoffs tonight on ESPN.
I love sports. I just wish they could be with me always. They say you don't choose the app. The app chooses you. It is everything I could ever want in a sports companion. It can stream the games and shows that I love, and it's there whenever I need it.
That's okay.
I never thought I could find an app that loves sports as much as I do. Until now.
Coaches wide receivers for Pat Narduzzi here at Pittsburgh, and he's responsible for our Toyota tweet of the week. Because after the win over Duke last Saturday in Durham, the Cathedral of Learning, James, lit up. Light the victory lights. Hashtag Hail to Pitt. And Coach Sherman gets our tweet of the week. Former ACC assistant with our buddy Jim Grove. And with Frank Beamer, by the way. How about a little synergy to the Coastal Division standings with the Cavaliers and Panthers battling here. And, of course, Georgia Tech's at Clemson tonight. Miami's just taken the lead on Carolina and Chapel Hill. Duke is at Virginia Tech under the lights tonight with our friends Tom Wormy, Dave Archer, and DJ Shockley there, Batesy.
Virginia will get Georgia Tech coming to town next weekend.
Yeah, we'll be at Scott Stadium for that. Cavaliers and Jackets have had some moments. Levrone can't haul in the ball. It was a little high off the hand of Kurt Benkert. Jackson was there in coverage against Andre Levrone.
Still needs to be caught, though. That's in his hands. Going to set up a 3rd down and short instead of this 3rd down and long. Blitz type situation here for this Pitt defense, playing a little AC/DC and trying to get them jazzed up here at Heinz Field. See if they come after Benkert.
Cavaliers are hitless in 4 3rd down tries today.
They're coming.
Benkert cuts it loose. Levrone to catch. Sharp tackling by Jackson. 5 yards shy of the 1st down is Virginia, and that's another 3 and out for the Cavaliers. And James, that's 3 in 5 possessions.
There, go ahead. All day long. Go ahead and break it off in front of me, but I know where you're trying to get. Come up, make the sure tackle, drop them, and get off the field. Good job. This Pitt defense really looks solid here in the 1st half today.
Henderson is deep. Here's Coleman's punt. Bouncy number that Henderson plays on the fly at the 25. Looking for the edge. Inbounds 40, 45, 50. Look out! Henderson! 25. Gotta beat him. 15, 10, 5. Did he get in? Yes! 75-yard return. His 2nd punt return for a touchdown this year. And Quadree Henderson got a crack in the window and kicked the doggone thing in.
Well, it's got to feel good to be on this side of it. They gave up a big punt return for a touchdown against NC State earlier this year. Henderson catches it off the bounce, on the fly. His buddy's down the sideline, leading the way, and he just stumbles in and dives across. Fantastic. And I don't think he stepped out here, Wes. You see the green still in between. It looks like just the ball of the foot there. He's in. That's a touchdown.
Wow.
Great job to stretch it over the inside of that pylon. Crosses the plane. Official right on it the whole way. And it's looked at, of course, but that will stand. And that's one heck of a run back for a Pitt team that's really feeling it coming off of that win against Duke. And they haven't looked back, coming home and jumping out to now a 21-0 lead.
Point after is good. Wow. Henderson stands his place on its head.
You know, part of it's the blocking, but a lot of it is number 10 himself. Many guys miss on that touchdown run.
There's no...
Wrestling was his love. Then it became a disease.
He could have his fantasy world and his family on the side.
Nature boy!
Sweet Caroline. Watch this guy. Instead of the bump, 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 here there's Let's Go Pitt. And you can hear it right now as they're up 21-0. We watched that guy during break. And, man, I would go see him on tour. I'll follow you. He is into it, baby. They should be. The Pitt Panthers are looking good.
I'd just like to see you in the hat.
Oh, man.
You like that hat, don't you?
I'm jealous of the beard, the hat. You can probably sing a lot better than I can, too, Wes.
Reed's going to let the ball hit. Virginia's going to scrimmage from his 25 after Quadree Henderson's third career punt return for a score.
And Coleman's done such a good job punting. But just, watch. What happens is it gets there so fast, guys, that it doesn't give guys a chance to get in their lanes. And Henderson has it in his hands, going full speed because he didn't have to sit with his feet flat, wait for it to drop. It comes and hops. If that hops over its head, it rolls down inside the 10-yard line, and you get more of the same that you've had from Coleman. It's the perfect storm set up for a punt return. Henderson gets it on the fly, and you've heard of out-kicking your coverage. Well, he didn't out-kick his coverage, but he didn't help his coverage out at all there.
Here's Zacchaeus, second time he's touched it on the little flip, and Olamide Zacchaeus breaks free into the Pittsburgh secondary and brought down at the Panther 42-yard line. 33-yard play. Benkert to Zacchaeus there, James.
Bronco Mendenhall preaches gray area. Gray area. But a lot of times they talk about being so tired. Now what am I going to do when I can't think right and things aren't going my way? Well, they may not be gassed right now. They may not be tired, but here's definitely a gray area mentally. What are you going to do to capitalize after one of these big plays now? They've got to do something here.
33-yard pass. Benkert going to load it up. Look for Zacchaeus again. And, boy, he got bumped around the 23-24-yard line, and it took him off rhythm in the route on an incomplete pass to Zacchaeus, the junior from Philadelphia. And he's a playmaker for Mendenhall's Cavaliers.
He is, and maybe a little bit gassed after that big run, but here's, just a nice cut as he goes outside, and the defensive back falls down. That's Hamlin, but unable to connect. They need to do something here. Down 21-0. Maybe even what might be their last chance here in the first half to get something going after that big play. How about
Joe Reed picked up 3. It'll be 3rd and 7. Idowu, redshirt junior, same hometown as Danucci. Wexford, PA, made the tackle at linebacker.
Gosh, I thought maybe Reed was going to throw it the way it was thrown so far back behind the line. You know what I'm saying about that gray area that we always talk about? This is a different kind, and this is something where mentally, who's going to be tough? Who's going to make the big play? Who's going to block the guy that's blitzing to stop it?
They're going to hand it to Reed straight ahead, and boy, Pittsburgh is right there. A lot of Robert and I motion, James, leading up to snaps here for Benkert. Last 2 times it's gone to Joe Reed, who is a playmaker. He and Zacchaeus, quite frankly, 2 most explosive guys they've got right now. Ellis is more of the grinder at the running back spot.
Well, it's these last couple weeks anyway. You do what you want pre-snap. Give us all that window dressing. We're going to line up and play, though, and here's a 4th down. You talk about a big play. This is the play of the game. No doubt. 4th and 5. If Pitt can stuff them and get off the field, maybe even go get some points.
Pittsburgh, their first time out of the half.
Well,
media timeout.
Narduzzi knows exactly what you just said, James. Big play in the contest coming up when we rejoin you.
What if you've been #1 since day one? What if you're undefeated, but you've got company? What if you're flying under the radar? How do your wins stack up? What if you lost early? What if everyone believes they can get in? What if your time is running out? The College Football Playoff Top 25 Ranking Show. Tonight at 7 on ESPN, presented by Allstate. What if you have the best resume? What if you're undefeated, but you've got company? What if your time is running out? The College Football Playoff Top 25 Ranking Show. Tonight at 7 on ESPN, presented by Allstate.
Falling since kickoff. Big 4th down coming for Virginia, trailing 21-0. Out of the Narduzzi timeout, Benkert's in the gun here, James, and 4th down and 5.
They've already stuffed them once on 4th down.
Here's Benkert, wants to take the shot. Levrone is there, and Jackson defended and knocked it away. Nicely done by Dane Jackson. He's got 2 interceptions on the year and 7 breakups coming into the game, James. It leads Pitt in both categories.
Gave Levrone the inside. Levrone had steps on him. He has to come back for a ball that's thrown high. And Jackson does a fantastic job. You see, play the ball, times it up perfectly because he gives up some inches to Levrone. 11 has had a great game here so far today for this Pitt defense, and a big stop. And how about Robert and I in Virginia? They don't just go for 4 trying to move those chains. They go for the big hitter, but come up empty.
James, in the last game and a half, they're 7 of 24 on 3rd down as Virginia. Pittsburgh takes over at its 37. 2 timeouts for Narduzzi's team. 4:12 to play in this first half. And boy, hard to get A.J. Davis going there, and he coughed it up as he hit the ground, but I think he fell back on the football. And so it will stay with Pittsburgh, but the young freshman, the former Lakeland Dreadnought. 1,500 yards, 16 scores a year ago for Anthony Davis Jr., better known as A.J.
I know we've got some pretty good programs represented here today, and that's one of the best in the land as well. The Dreadnoughts, mighty Dreadnoughts down there in Polk County, Florida. There are a couple of Dreadnoughts on this Pittsburgh team.
Yes, there are. DiNucci, little inside shovel pass. That's the tight end Clark. The transfer from UCLA, and it'll get back to 3rd down and 10, Rebecca.
Guys, coaches are really high on Dane Jackson. When I was talking to Avante Maddox a couple weeks ago, he specifically mentioned Dane Jackson as being a star to watch for many years to come because he's playing at a really high level so young.
Just like the rapper Dana Dane. Dana Dane with fame, here to entertain. By the time I'm through, you'll remember my name. Mark it right there, number 11.
Didn't know you were going there, did you, Rebecca? Comes at you from all angles when it's 44 up here. Big 3rd down. DiNucci looking for Weah, who makes and cannot hang on to the ball. Looked like he had it, James, and then lost it. Trying to come down and make the play with Bryce Hall defending again. That's a good matchup to watch today.
Well, it is, and they've gotten the better of Hall, it seems like, for the most part. Is Bryce Hall in position once again, but just runs right on by it. And Weah thought he had it. Everybody in a Pitt uniform thought he had it. Dropped it right in there. And DiNucci, I think, has really grown here over the last couple games. This is 4th start, the sophomore.
Wobbly kick. Boy, Daniel Ham falls forward to the 30, making the play on a 35-yard punt. Well, week 9 in the ACC, we go to our ACC stories. Let's start last night. My goodness, the red bandana game, so emotional for Boston College. They channeled that into a 35-3 win. Anthony Brown the score. And, of course, you know Duke is at Lane Stadium in Worsham Field late tonight. And then how about under the lights at Frank Howard Field? The Jackets and Tigers have had some moments in the last few years. Clemson's won 4 of the last 5 against Paul Johnson's team. Dabo Swinney, James, his first game as the interim coach at Clemson in 2008 was against Georgia Tech.
Was it?
Yep.
What was the final in that game?
Georgia Tech won by like 7 points on a Demarius Thomas touchdown pass late in the 4th quarter from Joshua Nesbitt. And here's a look at the AP Top 25. All right, the first college football playoff committee now poll, James, Tuesday night, Halloween night. Why don't you eye check your top 4 here? We'll come back to it in a moment. You can tell me who, if you're in that committee room, you've got at the top 4. Incomplete pass for Lavoni. Very quickly 3rd down.
Well, Alabama, of course. I think if Penn State can go and get a win, you've got to keep them up there. The Georgia Bulldogs, they beat Notre Dame and soundly earlier this year. The TCU Horned Frogs, Gary Patterson's been a nice surprise. And, you know, Miami, they may not be up where they want to be, but they keep winning, and they've got a couple big tests over the next couple of weeks. And you'll play yourself in. You just got to take care of business on the field.
Yep.
But, and I hate to say it with those Georgia Bulldogs because I play my Gators in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party this afternoon in Jacksonville, but that'll be a tough win for the mighty Gators and the way Kirby Smart has them rolling.
First 3rd down of the day converted by the Cavaliers with under 2 minutes to play. Now remember, Bronco Mendenhall's got the full allotment of timeouts. Benkert up in the pocket, wants to run with it, and he'll be helped out of bounds. Zeiss. Let's see, did they mark it incomplete, or is that a...
I think they
Here's
did.
Dwayne Haight. Let's see what he says.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. 2nd down.
Now Benkert just underhands it out of bounds to avoid the tackle behind the line by Zeiss.
I'm going to say it's a couple yards, and he's got to be careful, though. It was something similar last weekend, the interception against Boston College, which they never thought would be the case, but everything seemed to go right for a BC team that, as you mentioned, in the ACC stories, continues to roll.
Deep ball, and Dowling an over-the-shoulder catch. Big-time grab by Donnie Dowling, the senior from Richmond. Huge catch, and Dane Jackson defended it well, 41 yards.
Jackson's there with him. He looks back in the separation. Even though it's a yard, it's enough separation. A ball that's thrown as perfectly as this one. Benkert's been off on a couple deep balls where he's had a chance. Not on this one. Drops it right in, perhaps just the juice that they need. Under a minute and a half before halftime, can Virginia go punch it in the end zone and make a game out of this?
Here's Benkert throwing for the end zone. Dubois, sliding catch. Is it a score? It is. What a great catch by Hassis Dubois. Back-to-back throws. Benkert goes to Dowling, and then a rope to Dubois.
Kurt Benkert had an up-and-down junior year, had some injuries to deal with, and really grew in this offseason, really started well this year. The last couple weeks, he's been in a funk. Early in this game, he's been in a funk, but he makes back-to-back throws with the Cavs' backs against the wall that are as good as you'll see to get into the end zone for the first time.
James, they got the 3rd down conversion, and then the next 2 plays covered the rest of this.
Well, on the run, in the rain, so he's got some time for things to shape up, and good coverage on both passes. First to Dowling, and here on the touchdown pass.
Well, and the Cavaliers, not only the touchdown, they'll get the ball to start the second half, James. Pittsburgh's got 2 timeouts and 73 seconds left to go. Hassis Dubois from Irvington, New Jersey, gets the touchdown catch, his first of the year. In fact, that's his first catch of the game, giving him 11 on the season. Boy, Bronco Mendenhall, he knows how big these next 73 seconds are, James, if he can keep Pitt in front of him defensively. Because the Panthers have been explosive, as in particular that guy who ran a punt back 75 yards to make it 21-0. And here is Brian Delaney to kick it away. And it'll come nowhere near Henderson. And falling on it will be Mike Flanagan, the tight end, at about the 32-33 yard line. Well, our Week 10 coverage will send us to Charlottesville. The Jackets will be there. They're at Clemson tonight. Paul Johnson and Georgia Tech to meet Virginia. And since Scott Sisson's field goal in 1990, James, Georgia Tech has won but one time at Scott Stadium.
Well, we had a great finish 2 years ago. A lot of drama in one of those Virginia wins. Be good to check back in with Paul Johnson's crew.
DiNucci, play fake, wide open Flanagan. First down out to the 46-yard line. 104-105, the clock stops here. 13-yard throw.
They were very happy with DiNucci and the way he ran the 4-minute offense at Duke last week. We got to have a little bit more sense of urgency here, though, as they'll huddle up as they go under a minute. It was surprising after the big pickup. Yep. Had it been a no-gainer, you could see where maybe hey, let's just take it to the house. But instead, they're back in the huddle after the big game.
And they're going to hand it to Hall. Now, remember, Pittsburgh's got 2 timeouts, and there's one there. Clock stops with 42 seconds left, but you could argue Pittsburgh lost about 25 seconds
Pittsburgh
in between snaps.
Their second timeout of the half. 30 seconds timeout.
So
that's a curious series of events. I mean, usually
you get the play,
like
bang the timeout.
You don't get a big play. All right, hey, let's settle it down. Let's not turn this ball over. We've owned this first half. Let's take it to the locker room. But when you get the big play, then you're over it. Instead, they huddle up and hand it off, and then use a timeout. So I thought after the handoff, well, they're just going to still, even though they gained a lot on first down, they're just going to take it in.
How much of this, though, is what Sean Watson was talking to us about yesterday, their offensive coordinator for Pat Narduzzi? DiNucci has to be managed a little differently. As you said at the top today, it's just his 4th start. I mean, there's a little different piece of this, right?
No, not for a second-string quarterback. You know, it's always you're the next guy in. And even if you're not taking the reps and Max Brown's taking those reps, that's you. I mean, you got to be there. That's your job to know that you are the next man in. And it's not like it's a Lamar Jackson type of deal, you know, where it's on the Puma pass and, I may never get on the field. He played a lot of it.
Here's DiNucci in trouble and takes the sack from Andrew Brown. Well, the big fella, when allowed, has been rough today on Pittsburgh. And now I think the Panthers will just let the clock expire to end this first half. Loss of 10.
Again, he comes through scot-free and slams DiNucci down in a third and very long. As that clock does continue to tick. So that momentum, and boy, did they ever need it. The guys from Charlottesville, they've got a hold of it right now.
Well,
trailing at 21-0 at one point.
James, the dynamic now at the start of the second half really changes. Virginia gets the ball.
But what are they going to do? Can they do something on the ground, and can they march? Can they put a big drive together? They showed a couple pretty good passes right there late in the first half. It'll be interesting to see what they do when they come out of that halftime locker room.
Well, a touchdown pass, DiNucci to Jester Weah, a 14-yard TD run by Darrin Hall, and a 75-yard punt return by Quadree Henderson has teed up this opening 30 minutes. Pittsburgh in front. Rebecca's got Coach Narduzzi.
Well, Coach, Virginia manages to get on the board late here in the first half, but before that, it was your defense and your offense really dominating. How do you keep the pressure on in the second?
Well, we got to play 60 minutes. I mean, there's 30 minutes left to the game. You know, our defense did play a great first half, some great 4th down stops down in the red zone. Made some, knucklehead plays down at the end on that last drive, upsets me. But our offense needs to keep flying, and we got a great punt return for a touchdown.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks so much.
All right. Coach, thanks very much. Stay tuned. The Hardee's ACC halftime report from our ACC studios comes your way next. At the break, Pittsburgh 21 and Virginia 7 on a rainy Saturday at Heinz Field. ACC football brought to you by your local Ford dealer. ACC football is brought to you by Hardee's, home of the $5 All-Star Meals.
Welcome to the Capital One Halftime Report.
Welcome to the Capital One Halftime Report. I'm Cassidy Hubbard. We have a great day of college football across our ESPN networks. Let's check in with our college football studio team.
Ohio State versus Penn State, two very good teams that are playing very well right now.
I think last year we went into a stadium, it wasn't playing as well, took them lightly, and they showed that they're a great team. That's not really revenge, that's our fault. We didn't take them seriously.
They beat us, but that game's over. It's a new year. They have some really athletic players. Barkley's as good as there is in America.
With Saquon, we have a lot of confidence that whenever he gets in the open field, he's going to score.
It's fun to go against a guy that you know can make you miss, can run you over, can jump over you. For me, that's really just the fun part. Penn State versus Ohio State, prime time. Get ready.
That's right. The game sells itself. We don't even need to be here. We can't wait. Penn State, Ohio State with Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway. I'm Adnan Verrett. We'll break down Saquon Barkley in just a second. But since that loss for Ohio State against Oklahoma on September 9th, J.T. Barrett has been absolutely reborn. 22 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. What are you seeing, Jesse?
Well, they're going to need him to play big against Penn State. I remember at the start of the year, we're all on the field at Indiana, excited to see this new passing offense from Ohio State and their offensive coordinator, Kevin Wilson. And through the first two games, Indiana and Oklahoma, they struggled. They were just not in rhythm, not in sync. J.T. Barrett lacked confidence in his receivers, and J.T. Barrett really struggled those first 2 weeks. In the 5 games since, though, he's really improved, and I think right away he's been a more accurate thrower. You flash back to that Oklahoma game. Here's a simple crossing pattern by Paris Campbell in the slot. It's 3rd and short. If J.T. Barrett just gets the ball out in front, he can advance this. Because of the poor throw, Campbell gets tackled and they have to punt. Now you fast forward to Rutgers, exact same route in the slot by Campbell. This is actually a tougher throw by J.T. Barrett. He has to step up, he has to roll to his right, but he puts the ball out in front, and as a result, the receiver able to advance the ball and they get a first down. I think against Oklahoma, J.T. Barrett also struggled with anticipation. Slot receiver running a corner route. The linebacker is going to force J.T. Barrett to reset his feet, but there's still an opportunity here to let this ball go. He hesitates and he gets tackled. Now you fast forward against Nebraska, exact same route by the slot receiver. This time J.T. Barrett takes his steps. He reads the defense. He sees the cornerback squatting to take away the quick out throw. That opens up a huge open area for J.T. Barrett to let this football fly into, and he hits Terry McLaurin for a touchdown. J.T. Barrett in the last 5 games since Oklahoma has been the most efficient quarterback in the country, the highest QBR rating. He's got confidence and chemistry with his receivers and his offensive coordinator, but they haven't played a defense as good as Penn State yet. If Ohio State loses this game, guys, they're out of the playoffs, and they need J.T. Barrett to play big.
Now, you've been big on the fact that Penn State defense is underrated. As for Saquon Barkley, 211 all-purpose yards per game. How in the world do you contain this guy?
You can't do it with one guy. And a lot of defenses are aggressive. But then what happens is Saquon Barkley ends up getting the ball one-on-one with the defender. He is better than your one defender. So you have to find a way to bring more than one guy to the ball. Your defense has to think, we have to play team defense. We have to bring 2, 3 guys on Saquon Barkley to contain him, swarm him. Don't give him a crack, because if he makes one guy miss, he is out the gate and gone. Michigan didn't play a completely bad game. They had their plays where they were able to contain Barkley and keep guys around him. Moving forward to Ohio State, they're very athletic on defense. They're aggressive on defense. Jesse, you talked about the offense in those last 5 games. The defense, although the competition hadn't been great, but the defense has been playing lights out also because they're so aggressive. They're athletic. But they have to bring 2 or 3 guys around Barkley to make the play.
What do you like, Ohio State or Penn State?
Penn State, and we all talk about Saquon Barkley every week, but the defense has been so under the radar. I think they're the difference in the game.
I like Ohio State at home. Anywhere else besides Columbus, Ohio, I would think Penn State. In Columbus, Ohio State.
See if they can play in Madison sometime.
Yeah.
Just to mix it up a little bit, playing Wisconsin. All right, that game obviously is going to be a beauty. What we're also looking ahead to, a great game this weekend, is NC State and Notre Dame. Now, the offenses for both these teams have been rolling. Ryan Finley has been great for the Wolfpack. 313 pass attempts without a turnover. And Notre Dame's run game, they average over 300 yards per game. We know the offense for both these teams, they have been bringing it. Certainly, as I mentioned, that run game for the Irish, maybe the defense should get a little bit more love. Jesse, you mentioned the fact Penn State's defense is underrated. How about NC State's D-line?
Excellent D-line. And I think that's the biggest key in this game because Notre Dame has one of the best O-lines in the country. And if you're going to slow down Josh Adams at running back and Brandon Wimbush running the ball at quarterback, this D-line is going to have to dominate, guys. The good news for NC State, it's a complete D-line. These guys can stop the run, they can get after your quarterback, and they play with phenomenal effort. Biggest key in stopping the run is having two interior players that are good at the point of attack and don't get moved. Then you've got an All-American outside in Bradley Chubb, so quick with his first step, able to beat the tackle inside. You've got a tackle for loss. They're a very smart pass-rushing D-line. Here against Lamar Jackson, they're not rushing out of control. They're just staying in their gaps. This is basically a mush rush, and now you've got Bradley Chubb on the outside collapsing the pocket. There is nowhere for Lamar Jackson to go. They constrict him inside and get the sack. You simply can't do it better. And they also play with great effort. Watch this play here in a third down. Lamar Jackson just going to outrun the defense. He's going to try to his left. Bradley Chubb not only takes the angle away, but watch the effort. He then defeats a block, dives over his own guy, and is able to make the play.
On the other side, for Notre Dame to be able to slow down NC State, you have to tackle well. Notre Dame's defensive philosophy on the back end is how long can you stay patient? USC could have thrown quick game all game long if they could stay patient and sit there. Notre Dame comes up and they will tackle you. Their idea, wherever you catch the ball, that's as far as you get. Even when they blitz, you normally see teams in blitzing situations play some bump and run, come up closer. Not Notre Dame. They still stay off at 5 yards. They'll give you opportunities to throw the quick ones. Ryan Finley is a quarterback that has been taking care of the football, no interceptions all season long, but can he stay patient? Can he take these 5-yard throws? Can he stay in this quick game with the 5 yards out? If he can do that, not turn it over, NC State will have a great chance to win.
These are how good the defenses have been. NC State, the rushing yards per game, that's a great matchup. Now, Notre Dame's running game against NC State's run defense. You see the passing defense for the Wolfpack not nearly as strong, and Notre Dame on third down percentage have been very good. Who wins, Notre Dame or NC State?
I'm going to NC State. Ryan Finley has taken care of the ball. He continues it in this game. Blitzing a Notre Dame defense, he'll take his shots, but he got to stay patient.
He's got to throw a pick at some point. I'm going Notre Dame playing at home. I just think one of the most physical teams in the country. I think they're too physical on both sides of the line of scrimmage playing at home. We're just not seeing eye to eye.
No, I like it. Mixing it up a little bit.
Right.
The Irish have not beaten top 15 teams in consecutive weeks since 1989.
The College Football Playoff Top 25 Ranking Show. Tuesday at 7 on ESPN. Presented by Allstate.
When the top is within reach.
Number 4, TCU.
A hope for the college football playoff.
Either keep climbing or get blown off course.
Do you believe that you can win this fight tonight?
On the road, hostile environment.
What if you've been number one since day one? What if you're undefeated, but you've got company? What if you're flying under the radar? How do your wins stack up? What if you lost early? What if everyone believes they can get in? What if your time is running out? The College Football Playoff Top 25 Ranking Show. Tuesday at 7 on ESPN. Presented by Allstate.
College football playoff era. 4 teams, 2 semifinals, New Year's Day. The College Football Playoff on ESPN. Who's in?
The division-leading Chiefs are loaded with weapons on offense.
Touchdown, Travis Kelce.
But there's no time for rest in the wild AFC West. Arrowhead will be rocking as Von Miller and the Broncos ride into town, desperate for a statement win to turn their season around. On Monday Night Football. Broncos, Chiefs, Monday, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
Cavs Wizards at 7. Celtics Thunder at 9:30 on ESPN.
When the top is within reach.
Number 4, TCU. A hope for the college football playoff.
Either keep climbing or get blown off course.
Do you believe that you can win this fight tonight?
On the road, hostile environment.
Welcome back to the Capital One Halftime Report.
Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh certainly is an entertaining guy, right? Well, along with the fact he can be colorful and abrasive at times, he's also a guy who's an awfully good quarterback. He played 14 seasons in the NFL and threw for over 26,000 yards. Our quarterback guru, George Whitfield, talked a little philosophy with Coach Harbaugh.
You could go hard or you could go home. You could live life or you could just fold and let it go. Cause I'm a go for broke.
My experience is to be an improver. That's constantly what we're looking for.
Drag yourself to a stop.
The theory of improvement will lead to success, will lead to championships.
Going this way, 7-on-7, red zone.
Where are we at now? We're probably at, maybe we made 350 things better. There's still more out there to improve till we get to 1,000.
Hey, scramble! Go ahead, gap!
How do you get that to transfer over to your quarterbacks so that they are the tip of the spear in influence and performance when they're going to play?
There's key things, just like, with a carpenter, what's more important, the hammer or the saw? Well, they're both important. Right. The measuring tape is as important as any. There's arm talent, vision, accuracy, decision-making, anticipation, leadership skills.
Sometimes you'll have your campers play dodgeball. What do you learn in the wiring of a quarterback or young athletes when they're playing dodgeball?
Competitiveness and figuring things out. If you went back to who are the best kids that play dodgeball on the playground, they're the ones that are the most competitive. They don't want to get hit with the ball, and they'll do anything to not get hit. And they know that if they can anticipate somebody throwing it at them, they can make the catch. They got to decide in a split second whether they're going to catch it or let it go by.
Can you have a successful program if the quarterback is not the alpha leader? That willingness to step in and attack, I guess you would say, be most responsive.
Yeah, and they got to be able to do it within their own personality. And you learn new things. I've learned a ton of things working with you. One of your famous things you taught me was being able to change the channel.
Foot platform.
Being able to change the channel with your feet, your eyes, going from progression 1 to 2 to 3, check down, or use yourself as a check down. That's in the process, and probably where we are right now with our quarterback is really training him to do that.
And it's intercepted again. It's a 5th takeaway.
Take us now into a game. An interception just happened. Bang. O'Korn or Spate, when they come to the sideline and we see them pick up the phone and they're talking to you upstairs.
He's seeing something from the field, from the pocket that nobody else is seeing. There's no other coach, there's no other player that's seeing what he's seeing. So we want to see how he saw it. And then we want him to see how Pep saw it, who's up in the box.
The what and the why. It's important that, by the time he gets back on the field for the next drive, he feels good about being able to go out.
He's got to reload. It's like a golfer hitting one into the water. He's going to have to drop another ball down and hit it again.
A corner deep drop. Hits the crossing tight end. Zach Gentry to the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan.
Everything you need in that quarterback room is in there.
We got the guys we need. Our respect, our support, our love, our brotherhood here is not changed by a score. So onward.
The Wolverines hope to get on track with 3 straight games against unranked opponents before they finish up with Wisconsin and Ohio State. Your second half is on the way.
That'll do it for the Capital One Halftime Report. I'm Cassidy Hubbard. Stay tuned to the ESPN family of networks for all your college football coverage throughout the day. Enjoy the second half.
I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. Oh, baby, let's stay together.
Larry, you got to get those burgers off the grill.
Doug Flutie? Who threw the Hail Larry?
You mean a Hail Mary?
Tomato potato, man.
Those are two different words.
Let's go, Dr. Pepper, hip, let's go.
When the top is within reach.
Number 4, TCU. A hope for the college football playoff.
Either keep climbing or get blown off course.
Do you believe that you can win this fight tonight?
On the road, hostile environment.
What if you've been number one since day one? What if you're undefeated, but you've got company? What if you're flying under the radar? How do your wins stack up? What if you lost early? What if everyone believes they can get in? What if your time is running out? The College Football Playoff Top 25 Ranking Show, Tuesday at 7 on ESPN, presented by Allstate.
College football playoff era. 4 teams, 2 semifinals, New Year's Day. The college football playoff on ESPN. Who's in?
The division-leading Chiefs are loaded with weapons on offense.
Touchdown, Travis Kelce.
But there's no time for rest in the wild AFC West. Arrowhead will be rocking as Von Miller and the Broncos ride into town, desperate for a statement win to turn their season around on Monday Night Football. Broncos, Chiefs, Monday, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
Cavs Wizards at 7. Celtics Thunder at 9:30 on ESPN.
When the top is within reach.
Number 4, TCU. A hope for the college football playoff.
Either keep climbing or get blown off course.
Do you believe that you can win this fight tonight?
On the road, hostile environment.
Right.
How about that pumpkin guts shot? That's a first.
Smoothie Cook, Lois Broughton, 21-7, Pittsburgh leading here at the half. We get ready for the third quarter, and Rebecca's got Bronco Mendenhall alongside.
Well, Coach, Pitt seemed to have all the momentum really early on in the first part of this game, but that final touchdown drive by your guys, it seemed like the momentum has shifted. How do you use that to your advantage in the second half?
We got to start fast. We get the ball first, so capitalizing on that will be a big point.
All right, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it, Rebecca. Thanks to Bronco Mendenhall. And a look at our Timberland halftime stats, James.
Wow, got the Tims on the toes, and this is how it goes. Q-tip, third downs, 1 of 7. Hey, 2-3 weeks ago, Wes, against North Carolina, this was an offense that was 50% on third downs, not to mention 0 of 2 on fourth down. They have got to stay on the field, and like Bronco said, they've got to start fast.
Joe Reed on the kick, across the 20 and to the 26. So the Panthers, 21-yard return by Reed, and it'll be incumbent upon them to get stops, and they did early today.
Well, in number 1, to get their senior quarterback, Kurt Benkert, get him feeling it, get him lathered up, and get him in a rhythm. interception early on, but his last 2 passes were money after a rough first half. It's been a rough couple weeks for Benkert, the Floridian. Let's see what he can do here on the opening series in the second half now.
That's Cowley, the tight end in motion, and they'll hand it to Daniel Ham. And he'll pick up about 3 on first down. That is only Ham's second carry of the day, and James his 26th of the year, so he's been used more in the run game today than perhaps he has in the last couple weeks.
Return man as well. He's a good punt returner for Virginia. Remember, it was the smoked ham combo a couple years back when it was Ham and smoked Mizell in the backfield. Go empty. 2 times they've been 5 wide empty. 2 times it's been quarterback draw.
Benkert going to throw Zacchaeus this time. Got away from one, and then the blue shirts. But Davey, we've got our own version of the color rush here today in the ACC. All blue for Pittsburgh, all white for Virginia, and Salim Brightwell and DeMar Hamlin. Hamlin's part of that committee replacing Avonte Maddox today, James.
Well, and a good job to fight through, but a missed tackle. You got to finish. You got to finish, and that's one thing they did in the first half for Pitt on defense is they finished. The first half was good. But Zacchaeus will make somebody miss. He certainly does there and picks up 5 when it should have been a no-gainer.
Dowling and Zacchaeus near side. Benkert pushed right and thrown short, and that is Evan Butts, the tight end. And I believe short of the first down by a yard.
Oh, that's tough, too. I mean, you'd like to think, and we've seen it before, I think in North Carolina, it was about midfield where he went for it, but you've been stuffed twice on 4th down. You've got to punt it away as much as you want something to get going your way here in this second half. There's a lot of football to be played when you're just down 2 touchdowns, but a great 3 and out for this Pitt D.
Lester Coleman to punt it away. Wobbly kick. Henderson. And he'll watch it bounce. It skips inside the 20 of the Panthers and out of bounds. 47-yard punt. And Pittsburgh's going to start off its 18th. So 3 and out for Mendenhall's offense. And takes us to our Honda Generators power play. Come on. 3rd career punt return for Quadree Henderson.
4 guys, 5 guys really had a hand on him, and he runs right through them all. You talk about some power and some speed as well, because not just making guys miss with his power running through arm tackles, but also making guys miss with bad angles. And we talked about Coleman's punt. It got there, line drive, end over end, bouncing in a hurry, bounced right into the hands of Henderson, and it was to the house in a hurry.
2 guys motion here. Henderson flops, play fake DiNucci. Now in trouble. That's Peace giving chase. DiNucci now going to keep it. And Ben DiNucci up the sideline. Then took a shot as he got to the white from Brenton Nelson. Over in front of the Cavalier bench. Gain of 8, almost no 10. They do measure it to the 28-yard line. First down, James.
Schott and Watson and company, they've been on DiNucci. Hey, let's be a little bit more patient. Let these routes come open. Not in this situation. This is perfect. This is a great opportunity. You make the first guy miss. He has him dead to rights. Gives him a little wiggle, and the sophomore moves those chains on what looks like it could have been a bit of a disaster.
And here's the give. Darrin Hall skipping through. He'll get 8 yards, leaping out toward the 37. 9 on the play. Quinn Blanding the stop. Here's a guy who erupted last week, including the longest run in Pitt history. 92 yards is one of his touchdowns of the 3 on the day at Duke.
There's some pretty good backs to come through here, too.
Tell me.
To say you've got the longest. That's some bragging rights. In Steel City, USA.
Shady McCoy, Tony Dorsett, Dion Lewis. I mean,
C. Mart.
Yeah, Curtis Martin. Yeah, I got the long run.
Yep.
2nd and short. And this is Hall again, and he'll bounce to the 40, and that'll be enough for the first down. Boy, good to have Malcolm Cook back in the Virginia defensive lineup today after missing a handful of games. And his return has been important. He'll be another veteran voice, James, in Bronco Mendenhall's meeting room here the rest of the way, they hope.
So 2 first downs here for Quinn Blanding's defense, for Micah Kaiser's defense. Darrin Hall now with 66 yards on 13 carries. Remember, he had 24 carries. They worked him at Duke last week and averaged over 10.5 yards a carry. Who's going to make a big play on this defense? Who's going to create a turnover right here?
Play fake, DiNucci. Slips it middle of the field. That's Weah at the 50. And he'll be brought down there. Landing another tackle with Britton Nelson in the secondary on a 12-yard throw. And for Quinn Blanding, he's now become Virginia's all-time leader in tackles. 436, Jamie Sharper. Ooh, that was a good player. Angelo Crowell and Byron Thweet, who was everywhere in his Cavalier career.
It's one thing to be on the top of this list in career tackles, and it's another thing, the gravy on top of it. Bronco Mendenhall, who's coached some great defenders in his day, Brian Urlacher being one of them back at New Mexico, says he's the best tackler he's ever coached.
Here's Hall. Boy, nice job, James, of kind of darting in and out of seams in the offensive line blocking.
It's now with Hall and with this offensive line that he's running behind, really what you had with Virginia just a few weeks back. When Jordan Ellis got the ball, he was going to get you 2. He was going to get you 3. He wasn't going to be stopped for a loss, and he wasn't going to be stopped for a no-gainer. And look at this. I mean, what looked like it was maybe a couple yards turns into 5 or 6, and it's second down and medium. Put that defense, put the coordinator on its heels.
There goes Hall again, and he'll bounce for the first down. James, they've had 4 first downs in this drive. On those first downs, 10, 9, 12, and 5 a moment ago, and now another first down on the second down run from Darrin Hall.
Well, and he's incorporating this little spin into it as well. We've seen him a couple times here in this game. Rather than just trying to run through everybody, getting a little bit nifty, and he was very candid with us yesterday. You know, it was just, hey, you know, the confidence wasn't necessarily there, but it certainly is now. It's early on, it wasn't. And even early in the game, it's just more and more confident when he started to see, hey, these things, I can do this.
There's Quadree Henderson now. Kind of the second back in the tandem, and he'll pick up almost 6 on first down to the 29. Played almost 6 minutes here in quarter 3. Virginia went 3 and out. Now Pittsburgh on the march.
Well, you know, Morrissey's the center. Alex Officer, we've seen him there at the left guard spot. O'Neal, who's not just a good tackle, but the former tight end, makes big plays, scoring touchdowns as well. He almost scored one against North Carolina State. But Buxer, Jared Jones-Smith, the offensive line is really stepping up here the last few weeks, and boy, did they ever need him to.
Play fake, DiNucci. Wanted to throw, now he'll keep it. And be brought down near the 25 by Britton Nelson, the redshirt freshman.
You know, I mean, it's just, and this right here shows, DiNucci's, he's got a long way to go before he's an elite college quarterback. He's a young guy, and he'll admit it. You talk to Sean Watts, his offensive coordinator, talks about, you know, how he needs to grow, what he needs to do. But it just shows you defensively how tough it is. Whether you've got a world beater like Lamar Jackson or you've got somebody that's kind of new to this game, like DiNucci, when the quarterback can run, they had everybody covered. It was great coverage, but guys with their backs turned.
Third down and short. Hall the carry and falls forward. And this will literally be a case of whether or not he broke the play of the 25. And if he did, it'll be a first down. And they have already awarded the first down. Referee Dwayne Haight has.
I think he did. And, you know, and back to the comparisons with Jordan Ellis. It was those third and shorts, those fourth and shorts that they went for. And they're hit, but they're falling forward. Give me a guy that's going to get that ball in his hands, and he's going to get me what he can. Get me what you can. Get me positive yardage. And when you are hit, I want one that's going to fall forward. And right now, Darrin Hall is feeling it, and they're feeding the big man.
Olesen comes in to spell Hall here on 1st and 10. And Quadree Henderson resets, and here he goes. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. 25-yard run on the 10th play of the drive.
Great vision on the cutback. Three Stooges fans will know this. He's from Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls. Slowly I turn, inch by inch, step by step. And the big guys up front, they wash down that defensive line. Guys not holding their water. And boom, he's out the back door for a touchdown of his own. You ever see that? Remember that?
Fifth rushing score of the year for Olesen. Pittsburgh pushes the lead back to 3 touchdowns. Niagara Falls, huh?
Slowly I turn. Hey, wise guy, huh?
Canadian superstar Ric Flair.
Wrestling was his love. Then it became a disease.
He got really wound up in it. He could have his fantasy world and his family on the side.
What if I told you his life was never an act?
I'm the best there is! Nature Boy!
SEC football is brought to you by The Works Hydro Shot, the first portable power cleaner. Ready, aim, clean. Oh, come on, James. Oh, Permane Brothers, come on, James.
I think I might have to hit it up tonight.
Oh, it'll hit you before you hit it. Let me tell you something. Grilled meat, Italian dressing, coleslaw, tomatoes, and French fries in between two slices of Italian bread, or as some people south say, Italian bread. Here's the return by Joe Reed out to the near the 25. And our Toyota Let's Go places crew meal. Here we go. Crew went mealing yesterday in Pittsburgh. Pepe's old-time sandwich shop. Butch Wilson right there.
Hot dog Butch.
Big Tom Green got a slab. Tracy Cook, Johnny O.
Wow.
And they had the Rockless Burger. The
Jamie,
number 7.
Christina.
Not Tom Green. Nice shirt, Tom. Yeah. I like that. Oh, Joe Bowie, the legend. There's Butch. Boys had a good look. Chad got a big cut on the number 7. It's not a gimmick. Culinary delight at Pepe's. Walking distance from Heinz Field. Thanks to the good folks there for taking care of our great crew. Our producer, Dave Berenger. Our director, Lonnie Dale. Great to have you with us for ACC football, presented by your local Ford dealers. Okay, James. Bronco Mendenhall talks about playing through adversity. This game has been nothing but sans one possession adverse today for Virginia. How do the Cavaliers get this thing back?
Well, they've got to answer. They've got to answer before they lose control, like the momentum, the majority of the first half, all belong to Pitt. They've got to do something right here to answer that quick strike by Pittsburgh.
Boys, Zacchaeus, Brightwell almost caught him around the top, and then Zeiss finished it. And Olamide Zacchaeus having to pull all sorts of turf away from the headgear. Third and a couple now for the Cavaliers. And Virginia today 1 for 8. They went 3 and out in their first possession. They got to hit it here to avoid another one in the second half. Benkert wants to throw. Zacchaeus the catch, and he will get the first down. Boy, Cavalier bench wants a flag for a horse collar, and there it is. Sean Idowu, the tackle. Pittsburgh's leading tackler. And we're going to add 15 to this, I believe.
Personal foul. Horse collar. Defense. Number 23. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Gosh,
wow.
I mean, that hand goes about as far over. It's, you know, it's a shame because it's the same motion and why they want to protect. You see how it can be so dangerous. It's not necessarily a horse collar, but it's a non-reviewable play. They can't take that back upstairs, and I don't know that it was even enough yardage for a first down. So instead of a fourth down and short again, same spot as that first drive, it's a fresh set of downs.
Benkert trying to get rid of it after the first penalty of the day on Pittsburgh, and now Big Shane Roy got in there for his first sack of the year. I don't know who's more excited about that, Shane or Amir Watts, his partner, running in that front.
The Eagles last week against Virginia had 3 sacks, and well, just a lot of fight coming under Roy and finishes it off. Getting to Benkert, good coverage as well. And going back the other way after the first down, thanks to the penalty. And if I'm not mistaken, the first penalty for Pitt here in this game, one of the least penalized teams in the nation. They make up for it on that play.
You're right, and here's another one. And that time it's Rashad Weaver. Redshirt freshman from Fort Lauderdale. 7-yard loss on his second sack of the year.
Again, it's going to come from that right side of the offensive line for Virginia. And he just beats this time. Hurdle around the edge. Roy came underneath the 1-2 punch and going the wrong way. If you're Oahu, 3rd down and 26. Don't cough it up and give him a turnover, easy field position, even a defensive touchdown. You've got to be careful.
Benkert. Zacchaeus the catch, well short. Briggs the tackle, and here's our Jimmy John's freshman standout. How about this? Big Rashad Weaver out of Fort Lauderdale, James. Taking Benkert to the ground.
9.54, that's why he's got those sleeves on. Those guys from South Florida, this is pretty chilly for them. They had the heated benches you saw them last night. Florida State did. And similar weather at Boston College. Nice play.
Coleman's punt, a good one, trying to trap Henderson between the numbers and the sideline. And not a lot of room, and Quadree Henderson back to the 13. 49-yard punt. Pittsburgh starts deep in its own territory, but Panthers have a 3-touchdown lead on Virginia.
Don't miss the Audi 2017 MLS Cup playoffs. Tonight, it's Columbus versus New York City at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
Cooper tires on the ground, go round and round, round and round, round and round.
Your tires matter, so count on Cooper, an American company since 1914.
Tires on the ground, go round and...
Got to be happy, James. Virginia's only got 205 yards of offense. They came in 385-1. Cavaliers have only run for 62 yards. They were 123 coming in, so right around half their total through nearly 3/4 of play. And the Panthers get the ball back. Big lead and all the momentum today for Narduzzi's club. And Darrin Hall keep punching away at Virginia's 34 set. Eli Handback. First time we have called the big nose tackle's name today. Redshirt sophomore, Ashland, Virginia, making his 18th career start today. Nice guy to talk to, good football player, and he's really been an integral part of their defensive success so far this year.
Yeah, he has, and it's not uncommon to not hear the name of a nose tackle here in a defense like this throughout the course of a game, because they're eating up bodies. They're letting guys like Micah Kaiser run free. But that's not just been the case. It's been an offensive line for Pitt that's really been wearing out this defensive front for Virginia throughout the day.
Well, Hall ran right into trouble there. Andrew Brown, big stalwart at the left end spot, made the play there. So it'll be 3rd and nearly 10, Rebecca.
Guys, these sidelines are opposites right now. I got Pitt over here dancing, and then on that last drive, I had Quinn Blanding over there on Virginia's sideline saying, come on, let's do this. We got to be dogs. There is no tomorrow, specifically tapping his buddy Kaiser on the knee and saying, we got to get this done right now.
Well, we said at the top today, Virginia, who's off to a great start, suffered the bad loss last week, 41-10 at home, and now the Cavaliers find themselves down 3 scores late in the 3rd and looking down the field. Flanagan, and there's the Blanding pick. Quinn Blanding, the interception for Virginia. Pitt's first turnover of the day. And now all of a sudden it is the guy who wants to preach time is now who comes up with the play.
Well, and right on cue, Rebecca, you talked about a guy trying to get his teammates to spark it. Let me take matters into my own hands. Reading that ball coming underneath it, interception. Can they go punch it in the end zone now?
Don't miss the Audi 2017 MLS Cup playoffs. Tonight, it's Columbus versus New York City at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
By Blanding, the 8th of his career, his 2nd this season, the other a pick 6 in the Duke ball game, James, a couple of weeks ago.
Back in the hands of the offense, still plenty of time, but needing 3 touchdowns, even it up.
And Benkert incomplete. Got banged around by Rashad Wheeler, another one of those young red shirts.
Here's the senior, the safety from Virginia Beach. He's going to back out of it, the lone safety, and just read the eyes of Benkert. A lot of air underneath it. Is trying to touch it to his tight end, runs underneath, and a pretty easy interception for the safety for Virginia. Back in the offense's hands. They get nothing on first down. You know, winning that first down, it's been very tough for this offense here today. Time's running short now.
Little pitch, and this is Chris Sharp trying to get some momentum built on the ground game, and the converted player from the secondary. Sharp is a good-looking prospect, knocked out of bounds by Zeiss. Here's a look at the Cavalier offensive tally so far this campaign.
Remember, they had the big offensive explosion at Boise State. On the road. They're on the blue, and some big explosive plays that have been few and far between lately.
Benkert to Butts, and that'll be enough for the first down at the 30. Needed 2, got 4. Salim Brightwell, who had a first quarter interception today, made the tackle. Final 80 seconds of this third period. Virginia has to find points off this pick, James.
Unable to take advantage of some outstanding field position in the first half. Twice they started in plus territory, in Pitt territory, and couldn't come up with anything, including that 69-yard kick return by Reed.
There goes a 8-yard run for Ellis on first down. Brightwell again the tackle.
Late flag.
Yeah.
That's the kind of Ellis, that train that they want to get rolling once again.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense. Number 39. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
So Brightwell will come to the bench for Pittsburgh.
Well, coming right at you. Brightwell trying to deal with the defender and reach out and grab anything he can. Costing his team a little bit more after the nice run on first down by Ellis. So the first down, but they can't get another first down. Don't have to score a touchdown here.
Benkert in the flat. Oh, Zacchaeus heard Zeiss coming, I think. And Olamide just took his eyes off it.
That's the guy that got to get the ball to out on the edges, and boy, do they know it. Had it right there, and 9 times out of 10, he hangs on to that one.
Pat Narduzzi, he and Bronco Mendenhall locked in like most of these guys are on a Saturday. He really gets locked in when Rebecca Capel comes in to visit, though. Have you noticed that, James? The Michigan State-Michigan thing starts kicking up.
Likes giving her heck, doesn't
he? Oh, my God.
He loves those Wolverines.
Here's Ellis. Off the counter and the gun, and a couple of yards. Oh, no, he bounced out? Wow. What a great effort by Jordan Ellis. James, you always talk about he runs with the forward lean, right?
You're right. It was like a glitch in the matrix. He went from being at the 5 to being at the 2, that's truly the bat of an eye. And feed him. Here he goes. He's getting lathered up. The guys are blocking for him, and Pitt, they're taking on these blockers, but they're not taking it to him. They're not taking the punch to him right now. Virginia's winning those battles.
Now they stack up Ellis. Shy of the first down, now 4th down. And that'll be the final play of the third. Quarter break in Pittsburgh. Oh, boy. Talk about a big play to start the final 15 at Heinz Field. A game dominated by the Panthers. It'll be incumbent upon the Cavaliers to get a marker when we come back.
Eric?
Not cool, man. Oh, it's just a costume.
You're scaring the kids.
I can't get it off.
Bigger doesn't mean stronger. Bring the heat. Pack a punch. Like a champ. Mighty like a pro. Introducing the all-new Terrain. We are professional grade. GMC.
Couldn't have a much bigger play, could we, James, as we get our game summary for you? Pittsburgh's dominated the game, a turnover for each club. Penalties have been minimal, but now all of a sudden it is 4th and 1 at the 2 for Virginia at Pittsburgh territory.
They've gone for it twice on 4th down, both times. This Pitt defense has won it in the trenches and shut them down. Can they do it one more time at the goal line?
That's Dowling in motion. Play fake, Benkert wants to throw. Back line, caught. But was he inbounds? They call Burney inbounds for the touchdown. Richard Burney. Two-yard throw from Benkert to tight end Richard Burney.
Plenty of time, and that's what you get when you go run, run, run. Ellis starts to finally get some momentum on the ground. He's definitely in. 4th down and 1. You come out as a linebacker all lathered up, ready to go make that hit on the goal line, get the big stuff, and they play action pass you for the first time in a long time. Great play call coming out of that break by Robert Anai to get in the end zone.
And Richard Burney, the touchdown, and the sophomore from Chesapeake. Great pictures by our crew. Burney got a foot down. 8 plays, 42 yards, 207 after the Blanding interception.
We started making wine in 1948, one bottle at a time. Today, we produce nearly 20 million cases a year. Chubb has helped us grow for the past 30 years. They helped us prevent equipment problems during harvest and provided guidance when we started exporting internationally. Now we're working with them on cybersecurity. My grandfather taught me to make a wine that over-delivers. Chubb over-delivers.
ACC College Football is brought to you by North Myrtle Beach. Summer fun is even better in the fall. Find special travel deals at explorenorthmyrtlebeach.com. And by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. Well, his dad was a legendary high school coach in Tennessee at Huntland. And there is the native of Huntland, John Majors. And an onside kick that Pittsburgh, I think, recovers at the 40. It was a little chop shot off the foot of Delaney, who's at the bottom of the stack. Is that Flanagan, the tight end? I think it is, yes. Big Mike Flanagan, the grad transfer from Rutgers.
Boy, did that ever get a little too interesting? I mean, just nobody wanted it.
Delaney talking about it. Let's see here.
I like the thought process. Get them while they're not expecting it. And just a couple guys. 35 for Pitt. Who was that? That's Aston.
No, that's
Boatwright,
that's Boatwright, yeah.
Not going after it. That ball is
roll right by.
That's gold right there. You got to fall on it.
Leave it for the next guy. That won't be brought up in the film room, will it, James? Here's Henderson. Play fake DiNucci. It's been a good play for him today on a nice soft throw to Flanagan. Moves up the field for about 8 yards.
Come right back at it, rolling offensively. That's a good first down. So watch, interesting couple things. Here's inside number 44 is Reynolds, the linebacker. Also watch here, Watts is going to drop into coverage. Bernie's going to come and run that route on the back of the end. So go ahead and pause it 1 second. And Reynolds is here out of position, reading the run, the young freshman. But it's a defensive lineman, almost like in a zone dog type of blitz, that tries to get underneath in the passing lane. And on the play action pass, a much needed touchdown for this Virginia Cavalier offense.
Darrin Hall, the first down run before Jordan Mack the tackle. James, you surprised Pitt went zone there on the 4th down play.
Well, I mean, it's just, you know, they've got to stop the run first and foremost, and that's all they've seen from this offense. And so you can't blame these guys, but once you got to read those offensive linemen and the way they're blocking.
Look at Henderson break free. How about that move?
And here's the rub, Wes. You know, it's one thing. You can't count on a turnover to get it back in your offense's hands. I mean, this is a Virginia Cavalier defense. Boy, have they been solid this year. But the last couple weeks, and now, when it's do or die, you're finally back in this football game, and they're just letting Pitt get the football and march right back down the field and just unable to do anything about it.
So now all of a sudden, first down and 10, Virginia 20-yard line for the Panthers. And right back to work goes Darrin Hall. And he'll get 4 on first down. Kaiser and Jordan Mack the tackle there, Bateson.
We talked about it in the first quarter. We talked about it throughout the first half. Beating them to the punch as they hurry up and try to get another snap off here. But right now, Virginia's catching. This offensive line is imposing its will.
Timeout. Virginia, their first time out of the half.
Well, they had Jawan Moy in a full sprint getting off the field.
Well, that and I think they need to catch their breaths. I mean, it's just a defense right now that is just gassed. And you've got an offensive line that is really having fun with this. I mean, this is what you want. If you're a college football player, you're an offensive lineman, this is what I want. I want to be a part of this, where they're running the football behind me. I've got a guy like Darrin Hall that is just running his tail off, and I've got a coach that's going to keep calling it. And it's the way Virginia got rolling for a while.
So 2 minutes gone practically here in the fourth period. And you got to look at Alex Officer, one of those guys to tell you his 43rd straight start for Big 63 in Pitt's offensive front. And he's playing next over there to Jimmy Morrissey, who's the pup in that group, James. Redshirt freshman from Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania.
Him just a little guy.
That's well, 6'3", 300.
Yeah.
But he's done a nice job around all those vets at the pivot. Arujo Lopes in motion. And here is Hall. Inside the 10, down to the 4 goes Darrin Hall. And a flag thrown in. Darrin Hall approaching 100 yards on his 21st carry. That would put him over 100 if this stands. And Dwayne Haight.
Holding. Offense. Number 85. 10-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
I don't think Pat Narduzzi's happy.
Coming right at you over here. It's Wheel. Let's see. Go ahead and roll it. He's got his hands up there, but basically he's just wearing out Hall, and it's where he has his hands. It's, so it could be argued both ways, but the bottom line is Hall's, he's got to take it to him. Yep. And on that last play, the whole defensive front has to take it to the guys in the blue hats. They got to win that fight, or they're going to keep getting washed out, and it's not really going to matter.
Second down, Hall again. And it'll be third and short. Andrew Brown, another tackle for Virginia with 2.5 gone here in the fourth. Pat Narduzzi, a native of Youngstown, has given the rock to a junior from Youngstown, Darrin Hall, and boy, his patience has been rewarded in the ground game for Sean Watson, the OC. This has been quite a performance a young man's had the last couple of weeks, James.
Wants to be an athletic trainer after his playing days. He discovered that when he tore a cartilage back in high school in Youngstown. 22
carries, now $106 in the ball game for Darrin Hall. Third and short here for the Panthers, who lead by 2 scores. This is Hall. Oh, he got trapped in the backfield. Nicely done. Jordan Mack, the buck back in that 34. And Alex Officer telling Pat Narduzzi he wants to go for it.
That's the penetration. Immediately there was the initial penetration, and Mack coming through and cleaning it up. But that's what I'm talking about. Winning that ball snap. It's that battle that you got to win on each and every snap. And here's a chance to make it tough now, make it a 3-score game once again.
30-yard try by Kessman is good. 11:09 to play now.
Huge.
And our new score, Pittsburgh 31 and Virginia 14 as Kessman bangs home the field goal. And of course, John Majors was the coach in 1976. And you see the national championship trophies for Pittsburgh. Jock Sutherland, 5 of them. And Glenn Pop Warner, so good they named the league after him, James. 1915, 1916, 1917. The only team to interrupt Pop Warner in that 4-year window was Georgia Tech. 1917 for John Heisman. But the 76 team that Majors coached, of course, headlined by the Heisman Trophy winner, Tony Dorsett. And the Panthers won the national title. set led them to the 12-0 mark. 8 plays, 48 yards, and 345 on the field goal by Kessman. And here is Joe Reed on the return, and he'll be stopped right around the 20-yard line. Well, second half been Pittsburgh's ball.
Yeah, well, Pittsburgh comes out and they needed to shut them down. Virginia, on their first series, they did just that. They score on the ground, but then go to the air. The interception, and Benkert making them pay to Burney in the back of the end zone. But then, to answer, Pitt drives right down the field. And Virginia's been solid in the red zone, one of the better teams in the red zone this year. And they hold them to a field goal, but still, that 3 points is huge because instead of 2 touchdowns, now it's back to 2 touchdowns and a field goal. You need 3 scores to get back in this thing.
5-yard throw to Zacchaeus. Tackle made by Brightwell. Well, this is one of 3 afternoon games, early afternoon starts. Wake Forest the lead on Louisville at BB&T Field in Winston-Salem. Miami is up 11 fourth quarter on North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Out of the backfield goes Ham to the far side. Benkert wants to cut it loose and overthrows Levrone. It'll be 3rd down and 5 with Hamlin in the secondary defending Andre Levrone.
There's not a lot of middle of the field activity in the passing game in this offense. At least there hasn't been. Everything seems to be on the outside those hash marks, and I'm just curious as to why. You know, it's again, it's, you know, just like you don't fear the run, you don't need to defend it too much. In the passing game, you have the mini games within. Here's one.
Yep, play fake, and Evan Butts, the first down play, out to the 36. 11-yard throw to the Cavalier tight end. Robert Anai going to work on that play chart.
Right there, the Kahuku Red Raider. It's always a good time to sit down and visit with offensive coordinator of Virginia. He's trying to get his guys with under 10 minutes now left in this ball game to get moving, get down there and get some more points. Got a long way to go, down 31-14.
Here's Zacchaeus, near side and out of bounds. And got the first down. Idowu, the linebacker, chased him, but right to the first down stick at the 46. James, Virginia playing a little quicker here, obviously down 3 scores at 31-14, but Cavaliers have found a little offensive rhythm seemingly for the first time today by doing it. Here's a 5-wide look again. Benkert has run from this set and will try here and be sacked. Wow. Into the backfield went Weaver, and then Folston, the other defensive end, finally brought him down, but they angled him nicely.
Guessing good communication. You know, it's coaching at halftime. Coach Conklin and defensive coordinator Josh Conklin reminding his guys, hey, twice they've been in this empty set, and twice Benkert has hurt us in the first half. Let's communicate linebackers. Let's communicate defensive backs, and let's let them know when they're empty, these down linemen, and they can't go running upfield past the quarterback.
Wow, play fake, and then we had a collision in the backfield. There's going to be a flag, but Roy got held. I believe the penalty will be the hold.
I'm not sure.
Are they going to call a trip?
The way Virginia's acting, yeah.
Personal foul. Tripping. Defense. Number 93. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
James, watch this combination here, though.
It's without a doubt a trip. And it's
Reinkensmeyer's holding him, though, right?
I mean, you would think so if you can't get off of him. He's got him inside there on his chest. And doing what he thinks the only thing he can do, Shane Roy. He puts that leg out there, and it's a good call. It's illegal.
Yeah,
trip.
It's a trip, but
you're helping him out. What could have, should have been back-to-back negative plays. Now they're up there at the 40 and a fresh set of downs.
Benkert going to launch. Zacchaeus was there, but it's well overthrown. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 off the Panther 40-yard line. Well, they always say in the scraps the second guy gets caught, right? In that particular case, maybe the second foul got caught.
Well, I guess so. But that's the only thing I can think of is, otherwise you just turn and go and make the tackle. But if you can't turn, he's got him locked down. But he did a pretty good job of hiding it. He was holding him there inside at his chest. I'll give him that.
Here's a throw in Dubois, who had the touchdown catch. Circles there to the 33. It'll still be third down upcoming. Bryson Garner, the tackle. Did you ever get held, James? I find it hard to believe as quick and as stealthy as you were.
You know what I did, and I wonder if they still do? I used to use carpet tape because it used to make me so mad when those guys were home. So the two-sided carpet tape and would peel it off in those poor equipment guys. And I learned it from guys like Clay Matthews. When my dad, that's one of the benefits for having your dad coach in the NFL. So they can't pull that jersey and hold you. There's a big third down now.
Benkert going to push it right. Wants to throw, does. Nice catch, Zacchaeus. Stays in bounds and converts it down to about the 22-yard line. Dane Jackson's there. He's had a nice ball game today for Pittsburgh as the corner on an 11-yard throw for Benkert.
Absolutely, but now Benkert and this Virginia offense coming down, knocking on the door. They need to pick up that sense of urgency now a little bit as we get under 7.5 minutes in a defense that's really had a tough time getting off the field. These seconds are going to start to tick away and become precious, so they got to make sure they take advantage of that clock.
Ellis in the backfield. They're going to take the shot, and defending the play was Damari Mathis, another Lakeland dreadnought, on the ball intended for the veteran senior Donnie Dowling.
Excellent job. Wall him off. Dowling tries to come back underneath, but he's not having it, and that's a good job by a freshman working on a senior that's bigger. Just wall him off. Wall him off and feel that body. Yep. That's even sometimes when you're in position and you get a little bit of space, dangerous things can happen. He was unable to come back underneath because he had his body to body, had him pressed.
Mathis comes out of the ball game. Felipe Motley, who started today for Avonte Maddox, is back in there. They'll get it to Daniel Ham, and a nice play in space, and that was Sean Idowu, the redshirt junior and linebacker, their leading tackler coming in, who made the play. Boy, that's a nice open field tackle on a tough back in Daniel Ham.
Again, it was a quick pass, but still a good job by this offensive line to give Benkert plenty of time. Pitt got to Benkert 4 times in the game last year, the win. There's a third down now. Let's see if they come blitz right now. They're showing blitz walked up.
11th play of the drive. Benkert hit as he throws, caught, dropped Dubois, and a flag is thrown. Is that a late hit on Brightwell? Dane Jackson was in coverage against Hassis Dubois.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 39, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Well, let's see this one. Narduzzi didn't like the hold call on his receiver, Weah, earlier. Shoot. I mean, you're running through him. It's tough. It's tough. It seemed to be such a violent strike, as I think kind of what went into the mind maybe of the official, but what a big call right there as he runs through the quarterback as he just releases it.
First and goal at the 10. Benkert reroutes. Wants to throw. Now we'll put it up for grabs. Dowling is there and just beyond his reach, and that of Motley incomplete. So it'll be second down. And Kurt Benkert has thrown it now 36 times.
Benkert on the run. He was sacked on back-to-back plays here just a few moments ago. And that's why you see all that grass on the back of the quarterback's jersey. You don't like to see that if you're a home quarterback. It's all dirtied up.
Straight ahead, Jordan Ellis. And the stack gets moved. Ellis still driving, and did he get in? If he did, third and fourth effort will be rewarded.
And the entire offensive line, which is legal now in college football. No whistles. No whistles. And his buddies came and helped Ellis just continue to churn. So what looked like was going to be a third down and goal from what? About the 6? The 7, 8 even? Look at these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought he got in. They might want to even look at it.
I thought he got in as well, James. Diamond look. They'll hand it to Reed, and I don't think he got in. He got knocked down as he spun through. And Chase Pine, a redshirt freshman out of Lafayette High School in Williamsburg, Virginia, they hit.
Here's the pile push. His back is down. Oh, that's a great call. Good call. As his backside had to hit right there, that ball's on the 1/2-yard line. Fantastic job on the fly. How about this? Here's a 4th down and goal for you. You want to fire him up on that Pitt sideline, get a goal line stand here to win this football game.
Remember, Binkert threw from the 4th down play last time. This time it is Ellis. And I don't know that he got in. Virginia says he's in.
I thought he got in.
He is not in. Pittsburgh held it.
The ball carrier was short.
So Jordan Ellis on the 14th play of the drive. The ruling on the field is Virginia gave it away on downs. Wow.
1 for 3 on 4th down. The 4th try, nothing. The mighty Pitt Panther defense made some big goal line stand.
An alert from Wells Fargo. $107 at Doggy Lover's warehouse. No, I would never. I'm replying deny.
Oh, come on. Hello? Wells Fargo. I'm so glad you caught that because I did not make that purchase.
Break. The ruling on the field stands on this Jordan Ellis 4th and goal try. Look at the sea of blue, standing up those offensive linemen, and then the second wave, most importantly, on that goal line, you have to tackle up high. You tackle them down low, they fall forward for a touchdown, big bodies on big bodies, and they stonewall them for the goal line stand.
And DiNucci just going to clutch and fall forward for maybe a yard, perhaps 2 to the 3. And the clock starts in a 31-14 game. Pittsburgh trying to win for the 2nd straight week. For the Panthers, it would be another win in the ACC, their 2nd. And they'll have a bye until the 9th of November when Narduzzi's team will welcome Carolina.
It's a Thursday night game.
Yep, sure will. And now Hall bouncing around, and Darrin Hall will get to the 4. By the way, Pitt has 5 straight coastal opponents. Carolina will be the 3rd straight, James. You talk about writing your storyline late. That's exactly what's happening to a team who, by their own admission, played a rugged month of September.
Well, they opened up with an overtime win against Youngstown State. That's what's left. That Thursday night, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Miami. So North Carolina, they should be favored and should win that game, but that gets them to just 5 wins. After they hang on here today and finish this one off, they'll move to 4-5 today. With the win over North Carolina, it would be 5-5 and trying to back their way into a bowl game. And you talked about that opening schedule, how tough it was after the Youngstown State overtime win.
Right.
Then it's at Virginia. The second charge, timeout of the half.
You see Virginia burn a timeout here with 3 minutes to go. So let's take it with them at Heinz Field. We'll talk about Bronco Mendenhall's team and Pat Narduzzi's team right after this.
When you say wallpaper, most people think doilies and cabbage roses. We wanted to make wallpaper cool again.
One of the greatest challenges of running a small business is having to do a little bit of everything.
Office 365 really lets us collaborate in real time.
Once a client sees a 3D rendering, they get it.
Who knew there'd be so much math involved with wallpaper? The math feature is so amazing.
Love, love, love Teams. It simplifies communication from everywhere.
It makes our 10-person company feel like 50.
I like that math.
Pitt's going to punt with 3:05 to go. Virginia down to one timeout. Don't forget ACC All Access. A look at the ACC Cross Country Championship being staged this week in Louisville, plus James Bates' visit with Cam Phillips. Check your local listings on your regional sports network for another edition of ACC All Access this week. And here's Winslow to punt. Virginia down to one timeout. Snap a little high. Winslow steps up, and it's partially blocked. And it will bounce out to about the 38, 39-yard line. Winslow is lucky to flag it down, let alone get the punt away.
He has to turn into Kellen Winslow there.
38-yard line for the Cavaliers of Pittsburgh.
Mike and I are both veterans, both served in the Navy.
We bought our first home together in 2010.
His family had used another insurance product, but I was like, well, I've had USAA for a while. Why don't we call and check the rates?
It was an instant savings, and I should have changed a long time ago.
Introducing New Degree Ultra Clear Black Plus White. Saves your white clothes from yellow stains and your black clothes from white marks. Still with 48-hour sweat protection. New Degree Ultra Clear Black Plus White. It won't let you down.
The other three have ended on punts. And on first down, this is Jordan Ellis. And he'll run to about the 31-yard line. It'll be a gain of 7. Clock starts to move, though, under 3 minutes. Rashad Weaver, the tackle.
Just one timeout you see there for Virginia. Bronco Mendenhall showing you on first down. It's kind of what your options are really in this offense.
And there's Zacchaeus. That'll be a first down. And the tackle made at the 19. Motley and Hamlin there for Pittsburgh. So they'll set the chains and start the clock.
1-7 here, but at some point they're going to have to kick a field goal. So if they stall, don't be surprised.
Ben Kurt threw it beyond the reach of Dowling. It'll be second down and 10. Where Kurt Benkert is now 21 of 38, James. And I know they like his arm, but at some point there's a ceiling on throws, isn't there?
Well, I just, you're getting late in the season and you get sore, you're not as fresh anymore.
Yep.
And he had some injuries last year, and, there's the stuff that you don't know being outside the camp. So maybe there's some of that, but, kind of erratic. Sometimes he just kind of launches it up there and hoping. But we've seen him throw a couple pretty balls, too. He sure can run, though, when he wants to.
Took a big lick there. That was Zeiss, I think, that knocked him down. 6-yard run, and, boy, he paid for all of this, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what you get for being indecisive. Looked like he wanted the slide. Had he gone into that slide, it would have been a penalty, but he changed his mind, and Zeiss gave him an ear hole shot.
Boy, and he's checking nickels and dimes, too. Play clock is rolling, and so's the game clock. 100 seconds left to go. Play clock to 8. 90 seconds left. That's Zacchaeus in motion. Big third down play. And Dowling the catch. And it will be ruled enough for the first down at the 8.
They got to get over it, and they've got to go. They got to be on the ball and ready to snap it right now. Now Benkert looks like he's bleeding out of his mouth. This is a tough guy. I'll give him that.
Ooh, boy, no kidding.
They're on it and ready to go. They've got to have a chance to match on the substitutions they do, and here we go.
And whistles blow. They threw a strike to Butts. And illegal substitution is going to be the call here. But who is that on? Because Pitt was given the opportunity, I think. Let's see what Dwayne Haight has.
Please reset the game clock to 1 minute and 1 second. 1 minute, 1 second. Illegal substitution. Defense. 12 players on the field. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Well, you see Pat Narduzzi right there, and just off his left shoulder with the sling on is Avante Maddox, who has done everything today, and he may have handed out water. We just haven't seen it.
Yeah, he's got that C on his chest, and even if he's not out there on the field, he's living like a captain today. And Narduzzi not too upset because the result would have been a touchdown. Here's an incomplete pass, and finally a whistle, so it truly is incomplete to Ellis.
So 56 seconds to go.
Bronco looking on. We mentioned it off the top, Wes. This is a team that 2 weeks ago, 5-1 going into what looked like the way they were playing Boston College and Pitt. And Pitt hadn't beaten Duke at that point. They were going to win one of these to make it number 6, and going to get a whole lot tougher unless they can work some magic here in the last minute.
Benkert scrambles away, now going to throw back, drops Zacchaeus with 48 seconds left. Olamide was wide open.
Benkert continues to just scrap his way to try to make something happen. So what do you say?
Well, it's third and goal.
You know, it's one thing when he's out in the middle of the field and it's, hey, I'm trying to make this first step before I even get the ball. I got to make a move on a guy.
Timeout. Pittsburgh, their first timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
48 seconds left to go. A Pat Narduzzi timeout. And very quickly, our Z-Max performance play of the game. The Pittsburgh defense. Earlier, in fact, the last Virginia possession got cashed out right at the goal line. Looked like Ellis had it. Then they tried Joe Reed. And then James, right here was the play.
Here it is on 4th down, 4th and goal. I mean, that's what you dream about as a team. When you play defense, yeah, wouldn't it be great to go and get an interception or go and get a big sack, cause a fumble? But as a team, there's nothing more exciting than going out there with your unit, with your boys, and just stoning an offense, just shutting them down on a goal line and getting off of that football field.
Virginia has one timeout left, and it's 3rd and goal at the 4. Lavroni, the wide receiver, to the top. Bunch look here to the bottom. Dowling, Zacchaeus, and Dubois. Benkert wanted to run with it. He'll be sacked at the 10. And Bronco Mendenhall will take his last timeout with 40 seconds. And one more ticks off 39.
And I think they'll kick it now. They going backwards. They've got to have 3.
Their third and final timeout.
So Virginia's last timeout with 39 seconds left. Man. James Folston has played well, James, at defensive end today. Redshirt junior, Cocoa, Florida. We've talked Rashad Weaver's name a couple times. I'm impressed with Josh Conklin's front today. They've been an aggressive group that has helped tee up some of those linebackers.
Watching the press conference of Pat Narduzzi after that Duke game, that was the stress. I want that front 7. They made some plays, but I still want them. I want them to be more aggressive. I want them to react. And I think they've really grown here this past week. And they've made a huge stride against the Virginia offensive line, a Virginia unit offensively that has really played some good ball here throughout this season. Maybe not so much last weekend. They've held their own and then some. Been one heck of a battle here in the rain in Pittsburgh on this Saturday.
Please reset the game clock to 40 seconds. 40 seconds. 4-0.
I guess you're close now. You know, you're going to need 3 at some point. Try to get that 7 right now.
Benkert looks. Dubois couldn't hang on. Felipe Motley defending for Pittsburgh, and the Panthers are going to win the ball game. Well, tough kid is Kurt Benkert, James.
You know, we saw it all last year too. I mean, just got to see this Virginia team, and he fought hard and took a lot of hits. It looked like at one point he was bleeding out of his mouth. But just hats off to a Pittsburgh team that, you know, the rough start for them. You mentioned the tough schedule, but to go and win their last two, a tough one on the road at Duke, and then this one against Bronco Mendenhall's team that was fighting to get win number 6. Now it's the Panthers of Pittsburgh that are rolling.
2 straight for Narduzzi and Pittsburgh, as Pittsburgh wins today. 31-14 is the final here at Heinz Field. And a big win for Pat Narduzzi's club. He and Bronco Mendenhall, second and third year respectively. And now Pittsburgh gets a little bit of a break here, James, before Thursday night game against North Carolina. And a whole different dynamic for a guy like Avonte Maddox, a senior who's trying to get the Panthers back to postseason.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know that they'll have Avonte back even with the extra rest. But you know what? That's what college football and that's what being a teammate's all about. It was, you know, just Avonte Maddox show on defense, making play after play after play throughout the season, and he had to go on the sidelines and still the leader. Help keeping the juice, help keeping this team fired up, and he's still smiling. He should be, because his Panthers got a nice win this afternoon.
Another 100-yard day for Darrin Hall, who had the first touchdown of the day. On the way to another Pitt victory as Rebecca joins Pat Narduzzi.
Well, Coach, you said coming into this week that last week's win helped your confidence a little bit, but could the team do it 2 weeks in a row? How did they respond?
No doubt. You know, we first of all came out and played a great third quarter. You know, I was impressed with our defense. I don't know how many times they went for it on 4th down, but we must be 5 for 5 or 4 for 5 or 5 of 6. They did a great job today, and we finished them off. That's a good football team.
Hey, how about the play of your quarterback?
You know, Ben just keeps getting better every week, I think, and you know, we threw one pick in the third. You know, the end of that third quarter that was critical. But besides that, he's controlling the offense and doing what he needs to do.
What have you learned about your team after this second ACC win?
You know, they're resilient. They fight back. You know, I couldn't give that. You know, they get the credit. You know, it's nothing the coaches did. They have stuck with it. We've done a good job sticking with them. And, you know, we got A.O. I hope he doesn't fall off that ladder, right? That's a big man up on the ladder there with the fight song. But, you know, they've just stuck with it and continue to pound the rock is what we've talked.
You told me a couple of weeks ago that the thing you like most about your team is their attitude. How has that progressed through the season?
You know what? We talk about attitude all the time. Talk about it pregame here, just about what kind of attitude you have today. And I can't say more. They've kept a good attitude through some tough times early in the season, and we're going to finish strong.
Congrats on a good win, Coach.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Alex Officer. Biggest band leader you've ever seen, right?
I wasn't sure he was going to go up one more step. He is taking it easy for his coach. He's not going too high.
Well, you make 43 straight starts, Alex. You can do whatever you want, son. 6'4", 340, redshirt senior from Rochester, New York.
What a smile.
Yep. The final stats here today at Heinz Field reflect the offensive momentum, James, we talked about at the top today. My goodness, Pittsburgh, nice balance, I thought, on 58 snaps, huh?
Well, absolutely, and Coach Narduzzi mentioned it. His quarterback continues to grow every time out there. Just his 4th start here today. You know, the number, we key so much on 3rd downs. Usually it's because 4th downs don't come into the mix too much. But right there, look at that, 1 of 5. Pitt was asked not only to get off on 3 downs, but 4 many times, and they won that battle. Well, the biggest one, of course, that goal line stand.
Well, Carolina and Miami are wrapping things up in Chapel Hill. Canes are on the way to a win there, so that would make Miami 7-0 and 5-0 in the league, James. Carolina would slip to winless in 6 conference games, 1-8 overall before coming here to Heinz Field. The story, though, is playing out in the middle. Georgia Tech at Clemson tonight. Virginia Tech hosts Duke. And the win by Pittsburgh pushes them to 2-3 in the league. Virginia is 2-2. Cavaliers 5-3. And the Panthers 4-5 with Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Miami left to go in the ledger. Let's go to Ben DiNucci with Rebecca.
All right, thank you very much, Wes. Ben, it seemed like everyone was getting opportunities on offense. What was working for your team?
Yeah, we stuck with the same game plan as last week. Kind of had a big day on the ground and knew the weather wasn't going to be that ideal. So see if we could get the guys up front going early, and we're able to do that. And guys were executing. So that's fun when guys are executing and making plays. Makes my job easy.
Yeah, another great day for Darrin Hall on the ground. What can you say about him?
Yeah, coming off the injury at the end of last year, his work ethic and just need and want to get back on the field has been big time. In these last 2 weeks, he's played huge. So credit to him and credit to the guys up front for giving him lanes to run in.
What does this victory do for the confidence of this squad?
Yeah, it's big. We got 2 in a row now going into a kind of a bye week here. So kind of get our bodies right and then get ready to play back here Thursday night against North Carolina. See if we can make it 3 in a row.
And how much more comfortable are you getting out here?
Yeah, I think every game, it just comes, it'll be more comfortable and it'll become more natural. So, the more time I'm on the field, the better I'm going to feel. And, the guys around me are doing a great job making plays, so it kind of takes a lot of the pressure off of me.
All right, great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Rebecca, thanks. Appreciate it very much. Congratulations to Ben DiNucci in Pittsburgh on the win. And, James, here's what we showed you at the top today, and that is what's ahead for the Cavaliers. And Virginia needing one more win to be bowl eligible, and now the dynamic for the Cavaliers changes significantly. Georgia Tech will be there off a game with Clemson tonight. Louisville is going to lose in Winston-Salem today to Wake Forest. And then Miami could be coming here with plenty at stake, and Virginia Tech at the end. And by the way, those last 2 games, Virginia Tech is the 18th, Miami is the 24th. The game with the Hurricanes is the Friday after Thanksgiving. Think about all that could be on the line that day for an improving I'm sorry, that's the Virginia schedule. I was thinking of Pittsburgh that plays here. Miami and then Virginia Tech is the Governor's Trophy or the Commonwealth Cup on the 24th.
Well, and maybe most surprising of all is you look at those 4, and this one, Louisville, is now becoming the easier of the 4 to win it out. And it's, it goes without saying how important it is to win a bowl game. Right. I mean, to get to a bowl game for a young team. But I think even more so for a Bronco Mendenhall team. And we've talked about it a lot. We've had Virginia quite a bit here this season. But it bears repeating. He goes in there and kind of shocks their world, their college football world, by changing everything up. Yep. You're now, that's not your number anymore. You have to earn your number. You have to earn wearing the logo. You have to earn this. It's kind of the will, not skill mentality. Well, when you're 5-1, heck yeah, let's do it. I'll run through a wall. And hey, this doesn't take anything away from that mentality or these kids and their belief in him. But man, imagine when you in that second year take that step and you go to a bowl game, and now you have this young team, and you can go out and you can grow as a unit. You'd like to see that payoff. So it's huge, I think, for this Virginia Cavalier team to find a way to get back on track and win a football game. But it is not going to be easy. They need their leader. They need Kurt Benkert to be the guy. Yep. They need him to make some of these throws in this Robert and I offense, and to make things happen offensively consistently, not just here and there. And he did it a couple times with his legs. At the end of the first half, he did it with his arm. But they need him. They need him this last month.
Well, on a soggy Saturday in Pittsburgh, the Panthers win 31-14. We got plenty more to come for you from Heinz Field. Stay tuned.
This Friday, experience the film critics call a blast from start to finish.
It's main event time.
Yes! It's a triumph, an absolute riot.
Get inside!
In a minute! Whoa!
I want to get a closer look at this.
It's spectacular. Thor Ragnarok is the boldest, most fun Marvel film yet.
Biggest muscle in the body.
I've got lots of muscles, so technically more brains. Yeah! Thor Ragnarok, rated PG-13. Friday.
Hi guys, so this is the all-new Chevy Equinox.
It's gorgeous.
It offers heated and ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, a panoramic sunroof, built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi, Apple CarPlay compatibility, surround vision, safety alert seat, and teen driver technology.
All of that is in this one car.
Yeah, and to get all these features, you would have to buy all 5 of those crossovers. Whoa. Oh, and a Lexus NX.
That's insane.
Yep, all 6 of these, and you still wouldn't get everything that's in this Equinox.
Chevy's raising the bar.
6 cars in one.
I like that.
Georgia Tech and Virginia will be in Charlottesville, and Scott Stam next Saturday afternoon. We look forward to having you join us at 3 o'clock for ACC football presented by your local Ford dealers. We welcome you back upstairs here at Heinz Field. Great to be with James Bates. Wes Durham, thanks for being along on the ride today on week 9 of the ACC. A couple of things are going final. Wake Forest is going to beat Louisville. 10-point ball game, I think it is now, in the final minute of play at BB&T Field. Miami's going to beat North Carolina. Now, that sets the table today with last night's BC win for some big ball games tonight.
Yes.
Virginia Tech at Duke, and, of course, Clemson and Georgia Tech at Frank Howard Field, James.
Well, we'll see Georgia Tech next week, and I'm more anxious to see that one, obviously. I mean, Virginia Tech rolling right now, and Duke struggling after that 4-0 start. I think Virginia Tech should play well there, but I'm never surprised when a Paul Johnson coach team goes in and then has some success. Clemson had some extra time, and I'm not going to go there with the extra time in that offense of Georgia Tech and start playing broadcaster bingo.
Right.
But they had some extra time to kind of stew on that loss to Syracuse.
And get Kelly Bryant healthy. And it looks like he will be healthy. So really anxious to see how Clemson responds. Well, the Tigers have won 4 of the last 5 against Georgia Tech as they meet tonight. No question about it. The guy who emerged on the last snap of last year's college football season has carried over into 2017. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina's Hunter Renfro's had a phenomenal year for Dabo Swinney. And here's a profile of Hunter Renfrow.
We're at Myrtle Beach. About to go play some bocce on the beach. Yeah. Roll it up there. There you go. Don't miss short. This is what life's about, just hanging out with the people you love. Just being able to relax and kind of reboot and rebuild for the season coming up. It's 5-4, win by 2, playing to 7. We're up. We get 2 here, we win. So let's go finish it. Now that I'm in college and I get to come back to a place like Myrtle Beach and the beach and go hang out with family here, it's just a great time and I enjoy it more than anything. I come from a fairly large family. We got